How you doing, everybody? Lou Boudreau with the leadoff man from Wrigley Field, and the Cincinnati Reds come into town. These Reds have been hitting very well recently, but so have the Cubs. So it'll be quite a battle today as Lacoste, a right-hander, goes against the southpaw, Kenny Holtzman. We'll be talking to our guest, Steve Ontiveros, in just 1 minute. Do you know who the great start that you have hitting over 350 this year? I think that right now, mentally, you have eased up as to worrying about your shoulder, worrying about what would happen to Steve Ontiveros this year. I know coming to Mesa in February, there had to be a little doubt in your mind.
Well, there was a lot of doubt in my mind at that time, Lou, before I arrived in spring training as to really how strong my shoulder would be and if I'd be able to do the things that I thought I was capable of doing, hitting right-handed for one thing for a long period of time, and then taking the ground balls also. It was my glove hand, and I was just wanted to know how strong it was if I could go out there every day and fill ground balls. And I think I worked really hard in spring training, proved it to myself that I was going to be able to do it every day. So, and I just carried on over into the early part of the season so far. I got off to a real good start offensively, which has helped my defense quite a bit also. It made me a lot more comfortable out there. And right now, I'm really happy about everything, about the way I'm playing, about the surgery. Now, at one time last year, there was a doubt in my mind whether I should have the surgery or not. But now, I'm thoroughly convinced that it was necessary.
You know, when a player is hurt, has an injury, has surgery on him, and then tries to come back, there are so many things that you have to think about and concentrate on. Number one is the injury. Will I re-injure myself? Can I make this particular play? Shall I take it easy? Rather than concentrating on hitting and fielding. So that one problem has been eliminated from your mind, and I think that has made you a better ball player.
Oh, without a doubt it has. Always the thought of trying to protect a particular injury, especially with surgery, is going to cause you to get into a lot of bad habits. But I think the thing that I proved to myself in spring training was that, hey, I could still do it. I can do everything I did before and not really let the injury be a part of my mind, not let it hinder my game at all. And that's something I went out and did. I went 100% at everything I did and tried to do things not to favor the shoulder, just to try to get it completely out of my mind and not even worry about it. And I accomplished that, so now I can go about it without even, the surgery is just something that happened quite a long time ago in the past to me.
And Steve, nobody worked any harder this spring doing what you did in strengthening that arm and also batting. You weren't worried about playing in any games. You didn't appear in many games, but you were worried more about working out, and your workouts carried you through maybe double headers, actually, the number of ground balls that were hit to you, plus the fact that the amount of minutes that you put in the cage in batting practice.
I'd say so. That was the main thing. It's just to keep swinging the bat from the right side and keep breaking the adhesions that were left in there, and then strengthening the arm up. And the ground balls, maybe 75 to 100 ground balls a day was just to get the glove hand used to moving again, used to making the quick moves without any pain, to try and get the pain out of there, just to work it until it really loosened up. And that's really probably all you can ever do after a surgery, is just to keep pushing and pushing and pushing it until you finally get it back to where it's 100%.
Did you do any special exercises after the surgery?
Well, just the therapy was just a lot of weights, not heavy weights, but a lot of lifting the weight to get the range of motion back into it. A lot of swimming to stretch it out some, and other than that, there was nothing else I could do. I didn't have any competition as far as baseball goes until after the 1st of January, and by that time it was too late to go to spring training. So more or less I just worked with the weights and swung the bat on my own.
Steve, let's talk a little bit about your feeling. You have a great arm, an accurate arm. You may lack a little speed in moving to your left or to your right, but you get to the balls, and you can lack that speed with that tremendous arm of yours.
Yes, that's one thing that if you do have a good arm, you're afforded the, like you say, just maybe a step or two here and there where you can get the ball, and you necessarily don't have to hurry yourself because you're going to be able to throw the man out anyway. But it's really tough to depend on your arm all the time. It helps when you can, even if you're not a quick person or quick laterally, you can get a good jump on the ball. The main thing is the key to fielding is getting a good jump on the ball and taking the first three or four steps, getting off the mark really quick, and being able to get there in time to throw the guy out.
Now let's talk a little bit about AstroTurf compared to the turf here in Wrigley Field, which is natural. Do you play a little bit deeper on AstroTurf because if the bunt is made, it's coming to you faster?
Yes, I do. I play maybe 5 or 6 steps back on the AstroTurf because all the ground balls, even if the guy gets jammed, it's coming at you a lot harder. You're going to get a lot truer hops, and The further back you play, the better you are off on the AstroTurf. Whereas on the grass, especially ours here in Wrigley, that it slows a lot of balls down. It's a lot slower than other natural turfs, and you tend to play in just a little bit more. Even the one-hop line drives, as soon as they hit the grass, it eats them up a little bit, slows them down a little bit. So you're going to be able to get to them a little bit more. So you don't really have to play back. You can play in a little bit more.
Steve, I'm very happy for you for a great start that you have. May it continue all year. Thank you very much for the interview.
Okay, thank you, Lou.
Steve Ontiveros was our guest. We'll be right back after this message.
The Torco Oil Company supplies a great deal of those buildings with the petroleum products that are needed to keep them warm in the winter and running year-round.
And Vince, the quiet giant, sure does his part in seeing that every institution, company, or building it supplies gets the very best in service all the time.
Well, that's Torco's way of doing business.
And that's what's made Torco one of the largest independent suppliers of petroleum products in the entire Midwest.
When you think of petroleum, think of Torco, the quiet giant.
Our guest today was Steve Ontiveros, and it was great having him on the show. This is Lou Boudreau, and this has been The Leadoff Man, brought to you by the quiet giant, the Torco Oil Company. Now stay tuned for Vince Lloyd in today's ball game between the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. This has been a presentation of WGN Sports. This is WGN Radio Chicago.
Regardless of the weather, rain or shine, you can get both deep penetrating color and waterproofing protection for wood, concrete, or masonry with the new Thompson's Waterproofing Seal Stain. You've enjoyed Thompson's Water Seal protection for 50 years. Now you can also get deep penetrating stains with a single application. One container does two important jobs. It seals and stains both exterior and interior surfaces. Thompson's Waterproofing Seal Stain comes in 24 enhancing colors. The most popular shades from light to dark in both solid and semi-transparent finishes. So for your next home improvement project, from roofs and fences to patio furniture and decks on the outside, and cabinets to paneling on the inside, choose Thompson's Waterproofing Seal Stain. All-weather protection for all surfaces in living color.
Look for you tomorrow. Say goodbye to yesterday. Find a new beginning. You'll be on your way. Away. Darling, love on your day. New horizons are on their way. Airports USA. Fly away, away. See new places every day. Meet new faces along the way. In the airport. In the airport.
At the present time, it's 84 degrees in Chicago at Midway Airport, and the forecast for tomorrow is partly sunny and continued warm, with the high about 80. Now stay tuned for the Cubs against the Cincinnati Reds.
Wow! Let's go! Batter up! We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game, today. The fans are out to get a ticket or two. From Walla, Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run. Or even a triple bouquet. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game.
The Chicago Cubs are on the air. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to exciting Major League Baseball from beautiful, windy Wrigley Field. The Cubs and the Western Division Cincinnati Reds in the first of a three-game series. And this afternoon, it is Kenny Holtzman, the left-hander, who picked up a victory in his last outing, and that was over at Cincinnati against this ball club. Veteran now, 2-1 for the year. And against him is a very young right-hander, Mike Lacoste, who is 2-0, and one of those two victories Lacoste picked up at the expense of the Cubs over in Cincinnati last week. I'm Vince Lloyd, and along with Lou Boudreau, we welcome you to our broadcast. Boy, we've got a wind blowing out today from the south, stronger than it was on Sunday in that wild 14-13 ball game with Atlanta. It is 27 miles an hour officially, whipping the pennants and flags straight out over the center field scoreboard. Our broadcast today is brought to us by the G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country. True Value Hardware Stores. More than just a name, it's their way of doing business. True Value. General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices in to borrow up to $10,000. Call Friendly Bob Adams. You'll find him at Andover 3-2020. Your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers. Find out how they can make car buying a real pleasure for you. Oldsmobile. And by the Association of Chicagoland McDonald Restaurants. McDonald. Fairly good house. Folks still coming into the ballpark. But there are a lot of good seats available here at Wrigley Field today. Cincinnati Reds, like the Cubs, have been playing some good ball lately. In their first game against Houston at Cincinnati on Sunday, they piled up a whopping total of 17 runs. Yes, they did win that ball game. But they got only 2 runs in the second game and dropped that one to the Astros. And so they are still trailing Houston in the Western Division race, but only by a game and a half. They come into town having won 4 out of their last 5. They are 3 games over the 500 mark. The Cubs are 4.5 games out in the Eastern Division race starting today because last night Philadelphia defeated San Diego 11-6. Well, Pittsburgh knocked off Atlanta 4-2. The Mets lost to the Dodgers last night 5-2 in the National League. So the Phillies have a half-game lead today over Montreal. And the Cubs in third, 4.5 out, hotly pursued by the St. Louis Cardinals, who are only a half game in arrears of the Cubs. I have the lineups for you in a moment. Our copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. Got to take a moment here for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago.
For the Cincinnati Reds, managed now by Johnny McNamara, Ken Griffey will be leading off. Griffey in center field, hitting .364. Davey Concepcion at shortstop, batting second. He's down to .315. Joe Morgan, the second baseman, the third man of the batting order, is off to a flying start. He's hitting .322. Now, the next guy is George Foster. Just in case you think this might be a soft touch. George Foster leads the league in runs batted in with 25. He has a batting average of .343. Consider those. First 4 guys. Griffey, .364. Concepcion, .315. Morgan, .322. Foster, .343. Then you get the Johnny bench, and the veteran's struggling. So far this year, he is hitting only .208. But he's driven in 5 runs in these last 3 ball games, and he's got a dozen now for the year. Then they have young Arturo De Freitas, who is going to be at first base. He is replacing Dan Greason, who has a strained knee. He incurred that last weekend and did not play in the doubleheader on Sunday against Houston. So De Freitas is hitting in the 6th spot. Then Champ Summers with Geronimo still unable to make good contact. Summers in the outfield. And Champ, who like De Freitas, had a great 1978 at Indianapolis, the top farm club for this ball club. De Freitas getting a shot at a starting role, and as is Summers. Then Ray Knight, the heir apparent to Pete Rose at third base. Then the pitcher, young right-hander Mike Lacoste, who's 2-0. For the Cubs, Ivan DeJesus will be leading off at shortstop, and Bobby Burser, who sat out Sunday's wild one, will be in right field batting second. Bill Buckner at first base hitting third. Dave Kingman, who did not join the home run barrage out here, but he contributed 4 hits in Sunday's marathon. Dave will be in left field batting cleanup, and Steve Ontiveros will be at third base hitting fifth. Jerry Martin in center field, Martin batting sixth. Tim Blackwell with Barry Foote injured. Heard he's strained his left knee in a collision at the plate on Sunday and had to leave that ball game early. Tim Blackwell starting and doing the catching today. Then Ted Sizemore at second base hitting eighth, and Kenny Holtzman, the starting pitcher. He is 2-1, including the victory his last outing against this ball club. Matter of fact, in his career, Kenny has beaten Cincinnati 9 times and lost to them only 3 times. The plate umpire today will be a young man from the Chicagoland area, Dennis Riccio. Fred Brocklander, whom we have not seen prior to today, is going to be umpiring at first base. And a newcomer to our staff here of umpires, Dave Slickenmeyer, will be working at second. And then Dick Cavanaugh, who has worked several ball games at Wrigley Field this year, also from the Chicagoland area. Making up the fourth member of this quartet, Cavanaugh will be umpiring at third base. White Sox lost a tough one last night, but we're happy to see the fine job that young Steve Trout did, the son of the great late Dizzy Trout. And although the White Sox could not hold on to that 4-0 lead at Detroit, young Mr. Trout turned in a very fine performance in his first outing since being recalled from Iowa over the weekend. They lost to the Detroit Tigers 5-4. Red Sox knocked off the Angels 9-4 last night. And the Oakland A's defeated Baltimore 5-3, and the A's came up with a triple play in that ball game. And that, of course, helped Jim Marshall's crew to that victory. Baltimore continues, however, to be a hot ball club. They have won, and get this, Baltimore has won 15 out of their last 17 ball games, including last night's loss to the A's. Their other loss in that string of 17 games also was inflicted upon them by the Oakland A's. Minnesota last night maintained its leadership over the Western Division with a 6-1 victory over Toronto. Dave Goltz pitching that one. And Kansas City outslugged the Texas Rangers, winning 10-6. So Minnesota continues to surprise. They head up the Western Division of the American League, a 3.5 game lead over California, with the defending champion Kansas City Royals 4 games off the pace, Kansas City third. Then the Texas Rangers 4.5 out. The White Sox 6.5, Oakland and Seattle bringing up the rear. In the American League Eastern Division, Boston and Baltimore remain in a virtual tie for first place, with Boston leading by just a few percentage points over the Orioles. Then Milwaukee just a game away. Milwaukee 17-11. Boston has won 17, but the Red Sox have played fewer games than the Brewers. The Red Sox record 17-9. Then the New York Yankees 4.5 games out. Detroit 5 away. Cleveland and Toronto. And the Cubs in the Eastern Division has said 4.5 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies starting today's action, and they trail Montreal by 4 games, a half game in front of St. Louis. Pittsburgh is now 7.5 out, followed by the New York Mets. In the Western Division, it is still Houston leading Cincinnati by a game and a half. The Giants 4 out, then San Diego 5.5, the Dodgers 6, and then the Atlanta Braves. And the Cubs taking their positions out in the field. The temperature here is remindful of mid-July or August days. It's 81 degrees. The wind, as I said, is blowing straight out at 27 miles per hour. It is a humid day also. And it's going to be tough for either starting pitcher to survive the elements at Wrigley Field this afternoon. Now, time for our national anthem. back right after these messages.
Every little thing means so much. A flower, a bouquet from you. Every blooming thing says so much. From Amway's to you.
Remember your mom this Mother's Day with a lasting gift of roses. Amling's Bow of Beauty Real Roses treated to stay beautiful for years. Amling's Bow of Beauty, the floral miracle of the century. It's a gift your mother will enjoy not only on Mother's Day, but every day of the year. She'll love it, and you'll love her more.
The nicest thing that can be said about flowers is that they came from Amway's. From Amway's to you.
You could have the happiest mother in town when you select the perfect Mother's Day gift at La Boîte et Musique, the music box shop. La Boîte et Musique in Water Tower Place, Northbrook Court, and Woodfield Mall has more than 500 different music boxes to choose from, ranging from $5 to $3,000. The Music Box Shop also has a unique selection of designer telephones. Remember Mom with a music box or designer telephone from La Boîte et Musique, 4th level, Water Tower Place, Northbrook Court, and Woodfield Mall. Ken Griffey, left-hander with great speed, tries to foul the first, or bunt the first pitch, and he fouls it down the third base side for a strike one count. He has hit safely in 15 out of his last 17 ball games. Holtzman in the windup. Here it is in Griffey. On a curve, swings, and he misses. Beautiful curveball. Ron Plaza hollering it up in the coach's box at third base. And Russ Dixon coaching over at first. Tim Blackwell doing the catching. Griffey had stepped out for a moment. He has 2 homers and driven in 13 runs this year. Wind up in the 0-2 pitch. Sidearm curve into the dirt. Just wasted it. The Reds as a team are hitting .282 with 19 homers, and they've already amassed 124 runs batted in. And the wind blowing out in their favor. Here's the windup. Holtzman's 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. A beautiful breaking ball. Griffey going right over it. In 7 1/3 innings over at Cincinnati last Tuesday in the 5-1 victory, Holtzman struck out 3, allowed only 6 base hits, 1 run. Walked only 1 man. He had great control. Now Dave Concepcion. That's right. Dave Concepcion stepping in with that very close stance, feet pretty close together. The windup and the right-hander takes fastball for a strike at the letters inside corner. Davey hitting .315, as I said, with a couple of homers and 14 runs batted in. Here's the windup by Kenny. That one's a ball in too close. Ball 1, strike 1. The outfield will have to play pretty deep today. Here's the windup, and the left-hander's next one. Swung on, and a drive into center field. Coming out of Jerry Martin, and he's there to make the shoulder-high catch. Got a good jump on it. Bases empty, 2 gone. For Joe Morgan, batting .322. 3 homers and 10 runs batted in for this little guy. And getting on base a lot. Not only is he hitting well, but he's also drawing a lot of walks, approaching the 1,400 mark in his great career. And if he gets on, he can move, as you well know. A little stocky left-hander. An awful lot of power for his size. 8-0 in stolen bases. Holtzman winds. First pitch, and he takes a little high, ball 1. Fairly good crowd today, but the upper deck is closed. Great day for baseball. Wind up in the 1-0 delivery. That one's way over his head. Ball 2. The Dodgers, by the way, with their win last night, ended their 3-game losing streak. At the expense of the Mets. Fastball. Kenny's just a little bit low, 3-0 on Morgan. In the on-deck circle, George Foster, Mr. Trouble for pitchers. 3-0 pitch. Morgan a half swing. He often goes after 3-0, and that time he hit a little foul ball into the seats below us. Back on the line of the plate in first. Ball 3, strike 1. 2 out, bases empty. We've just gotten underway. Here's the windup in the pitch. Fastball swung on. It's a high foul, and the wind may push it back where Blackwell can play, and it does. He's got it. About 15 feet in front of the screen. So it's 3 up and 3 down, and the Cubs come to bat, no score.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Pete Scalero here, Bob.
Hi, Pete.
Bob, how many times did you want half of a ham sandwich but were too busy to fold the ham?
What, Pete?
Bob, say hello to the inventor of the luncheon meat folder.
You mean a folder that folds the ham in half?
Not just ham, corned beef, bologna, pastrami, and...
Sounds terrific.
You know, Bob, the darn thing even works on mayonnaise.
It folds mayonnaise.
As soon as I work out one wrinkle, it's all set.
Great. What's the
In
ring?
the meantime, I've got a lot of personal bills piling up.
Well, a consolidation loan can turn those bills in one monthly payment, Pete.
Oh, there you go.
What's the one wrinkle?
And, Bob, do you like tomatoes on your sandwich?
Love 'em.
Well, that's the wrinkle.
Oh, yeah?
Mushes them right up.
Well, I think people can fold their own tomatoes.
You think so?
Of course.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
It makes sense to call Bob Adams for their people-to-people service. General Finance has professional experience and a particular plan for your particular need. 70 Chicago area offices, including Fox Lake. Borrow up to $10,000 or for a large homeowner's loan, call Andover 3-2020.
This Mother's Day, give Mom a gift that will make being a mom a little bit easier. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest the GE Toast and Broil Toaster Oven from True Value Hardware Stores. The extra capacity oven will bake a cake or a large casserole or toast 4 slices of bread at once. Other features include a top brown setting, automatic shutoff, and signal bell to help make cooking more mistake-proof. Plus, the broil pan has 2 positions for more versatile and efficient broiling. Get the GE Toast and Broil at participating True Value Hardware Stores.
Ivan De Jesus is going to be leading off, batting .237 with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Mike Lacasse had a perfect game for 5 innings against the Cubs when he went against Rick Rushell on Wednesday and won the ballgame 4-1. He left in the 8th inning, pitched superbly, allowed 1 run and just 3 hits. All right-hander. He's 2-0 for the year for the Reds. First pitch. Ivan goes after the fastball, and he fouls it out of play to the right side. Way back in the aisle, and a good grab made over there by a kid. Lacasse earned an average 2.48. And that, my friends, is good pitching. Making his 6th start of the year. He's worked 1 game in relief. Right-hander delivers, and Ivan takes. It's a strike. Ross tall and rangy. Going to celebrate his 23rd birthday on May the 30th. 0-2 pitch. Fastball. And it is strike 3 called. Johnny Bench may have helped Dennis Riccio with that call as he fired the ball down to third base. And Ivan is caught looking to open up the first inning for the Cubs. Here's Bobby Mercer. Sat out Sunday's ball game. Hitting .271. Johnny Bench steps out, directing traffic. He wants Champ Summers, the right fielder, to move over just a little bit more towards center field. He was way over. First pitch swung on, a drive left field. Coming on is Foster, and he reaches out at the last moment and barely held on to it, about a foot off the grass. You got to play deep today, and it's got to be awfully tough, Lou, to judge just how far one like that's going to go.
Well, the high pop-ups will certainly be troublesome today, so we'll have some fun with pop flies.
We might, but those fielders won't. Here is Bill Buckner. Started out of his slump over at Cincinnati last week with a couple of home runs, and while he was hitting under 200, he's now up to .237 with 3 homers and 10 runs batted in for the year. Veteran Lou Brock today is leading the National League in hitting with a .382 mark. Casas fastball, low and inside of the left-handed hitter. Ball 1. No score, 2 out, bases empty, and a hot dog wrapper. He eludes Lacasse as it blows in front of him, and now he goes over to the third base side of the mound, retrieves it. Davey Winfield of the Padres, hitting .376, is second to Brock in the National League. Gary Carter of Montreal off to a flying start, hitting .366, and then Ken Griffey of these Reds. Lacasse delivers a fastball low and away, 2-0. And Crow Marty of Montreal, Dave Parker of the Pirates, 352. Join George Foster of these Reds, 343. Dawson of Montreal, Royster of Atlanta, and Terry Whitfield of San Francisco. Another fastball, and again he is low and away. 3-0 now. Foster the leader in runs batted in with 25, one more than Gary Carter of Montreal, and one more than Davey Winfield of San Diego. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and he takes it's a strike at the letters, 3-1. Mike Schmidt now has 9 home runs in the National League, the same as Dale Murphy of Atlanta. 3-1 pitch, swung on, it bounces one down to the first baseman. The Freitas has it. Takes it on the short hop, steps in the bag, and the Cubs are retired in order. At the end of 1, no score.
If you're confused about which motor oil to use in your car, here's some straight talk about oil can labels from Amoco. By the quart or by the case. You know it's easy to select the right motor oil with Amoco's new labels? Look on the back of the Amoco LDO can, the original long-distance oil. Or check Amoco MV and Amoco Permalute oil cans. You'll find exactly what you want to know. No technical jargon, no long-winded sell. Look for the oil can labels with the Amoco name on them for proven quality and straight talk.
An energy message from Amoco Oil Company. No one knows exactly what the gasoline situation will be the rest of the year. But the people at Amoco do know there are things everyone can do to help the situation. Especially those of us who think saving gasoline is only for the other guy. Observe speed limits. And let your next tank full of Amoco gasoline be a reminder to conserve energy. A little effort by each of us can make things a lot better for all. Thanks from Amoco Oil Company.
Nobody sings country from McDonald's like Tammy Wynette.
Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Nobody else in this whole land. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. You're the reason we do it, and nobody can do it like McDonald's can.
Now George Foster to lead off the second inning. 4th in the National League in hitting, 343. Only 4 homers so far, but he leads the league in runs batted in with 25. Don Baylor of the Angels leads the majors in RBIs. Baylor with 29. Holtzman winds the pitch. Foster's taking all the way, and it just missed. Ball 1. Dave Kingman, very, very deep in left field, hands on his knees, peering straight out towards home plate. Deep in left center is Jerry Martin. Mercer way off the right field line. 1-0 pitch. Down and in of the fastball, fouled over the first base side. Looks like it'll be out of play, and it stays just behind the visiting dugout. 0-1, strike 1. Johnny Bench due up next, and he's to be followed by young Arturo de Freitas. Playing at first base today with Dreesen, nursing a bad leg. Foster, lean-waisted, corded muscles, boy, he's strong. Here's the pitch. Taps one out in front of the plate. Holtzman charging in, bare hand pickup. Here's the throw, low, but grabbed by Buckner in time for the out. Holtzman picked up that ball only about 15 feet away from the plate as he had Foster fooled with a good changeup. First 4 Reds have been retired, and here is Johnny Bench hitting just 208. Good fielding that time by the Cub pitcher. Bench with a pair of homers this year and 12 runs batted in. Another strong right-handed hitter. Mercer doesn't give him quite as much room in right as he gave Foster. First pitch, and he takes it to strike. Here we got the wind blowing out stronger than it was Sunday, but in the first 2 innings, both teams have gone down in order. In sharp contrast to what happened here Sunday when Atlanta got 5 in the first and the Cubs came back with 6 out of the first. 0-1 delivery, and he misses low and inside. It's 1-1 now. Kemp of the Tigers leads the American League hitters with a 419 mark, and then Chet Lemon of the White Sox, 392. 1-1 pitch, fastball, swung out a miss. He just blew it by and jammed him with it. Right up in his eyes. 1-2. And Roy Smalley of Minnesota hitting .381, and Pryor of the Sox hitting .370 is fourth in the American League batting derby. 1-2 pitch. Throws the breaking ball. It's low. 2-2. One out, bases are empty. No score. Reds batting in the top of the second inning at warm and windy Wrigley Field. 2-2 pitch. Started it high and it stayed that way. It didn't break. 3-2. Wichita Farm Club record fell last night to 8-13 when they lost to Iowa 8-6. 3-2 pitch. Fastball low and inside. Johnny Bench becomes the first base runner of the afternoon as he draws a walk with one away. Brings up Arturo de Freitas. Freitas. T-E-S. Sorry. Had an outstanding season at Indianapolis last year, and with Threeson out with the bad leg, the young man who appeared as a pinch hitter against us over there last week is starting at first base again this afternoon as he did on Sunday. Tall, slender, bends low at the plate, and he takes the first pitch for a strike. Bench, not much of a threat to steal, but Holtzman will check him anyway. De Freitas from the Dominican Republic. The stretch, the pitch to him. Swung on and missed, a beautiful breaking ball. 6'2", about 200. Doesn't look to weigh that much. They may be just a little bit on the high side with that 200 weight for him. But at Indianapolis last year, he hit .327 with 32 home runs and 101 runs batted in. So he's got some power. Wide stance, almost like Foster. Here's the pitch, fastball. Got a piece of it. It was down and away to him. He fouled it back for strike two. Back in '74, this young man had earned a spot on the Major League roster of the Reds, but he broke a wrist bone in spring training when he was hit by a pitch. And he joined the Indianapolis team and fractured his right ankle. There's a swing and a base hit by Buckner down the right field foul line. Bench coming into third. Mercer picking up the ball. Plaza holding Bench now as he barely got that one over the chalk stripe. Buckner dove for the ball in front of the bag, and it was very, very close to being foul, but instead it goes for a double. And the Reds have runners at second and third. That's the first hit of the day by anybody. Mercer had to run all the way in to the bullpen mound in right field foul territory to get to that ball. Speedier man would have tallied. The Bench is now at third, and that brings up Champ Summers. Spent some time, of course, with the Chicago Cubs. Left-hander, strong, hitting, well, he's 7 for 27 at .259 mark. Has one homer. Champ takes a curve into the dirt. Beautiful block by Blackwell. Champ has batted in 7 runs. Foster opened up by tapping out. Now walk and a double. There's a curve, and he takes it low. Ball 2. Ray Knight, the 8th man in the batting order, standing in the on-deck circle on the first base side. With Cincy runners at second and third, DeJesus is in a little bit. Now retreats. Here's the pitch. Summers takes it. It's inside. A fastball, 3-0. Martin fairly deep in center field. And Mercer deep in front of the curve in the right field bleacher wall. Holtzman from the windup, 3-0 delivery, and Summers had a notion, but he takes ball 4 high and tight a fastball. The bases are loaded for Ray Knight. He is hitting .309, and he's the 8th man in the batting order. 364, 315, 322, 343, now .309. Knight with no homers, 9 runs batted in. Right-handed hitter. Hands well out over the plate. Holtzman from the windup. First pitch swung on, and he fouls it down the right field line. A fastball to him. Strike 1 count. Welcome here today to the 1979 graduating class of the North Lake Upper Grade Center and St. John Vianney in Northlake. Attending the ball game today, compliments of the Fraternal Order of the Northlake Police Department. Principal Lloyd Kibbins. Hope those kids are having a good time. I hope we'll see a few Cub homers today. And, of course, a Cub victory. 0-1 pitch. And he takes it high and away. Ball one, strike one. This for Kenny is only his fourth start this year. Appeared in one game in relief. And he's in a jam with the bases jammed. One out, the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Pulled the string on it. That night pulled. Where he steps out of the batter's box. The pitcher due up next. Wouldn't be too bad for a double play spot right here. That comes from Georgia. They drafted him in June of 70. Kenny starts the windup, 1-2 pitch. Slow curve into the dirt, and again Blackwell has to hustle to prevent a wild pitch. Ball two, strike two. Knight says his happiest moment last year was when he hit a 3-run homer and helped the Reds beat Atlanta. He was out of action early last year with a severe strain in the thigh. Takes that pitch and it's high. Holtzman discussed it. He thought that breaking ball was in the strike zone, and then it broke. And that's when he thought it came down into the strike zone, but he does not get the call from young Dennis Riccio, and the count is full with the bases loaded, one away. And something's got to give. Ball three, strike two pitch. Here it is. Swung on and a fly ball. Mercer started back. Now he comes in. He's there. Runner at third. Bench looked like he might have tagged early. The throw goes into second base. Bench scores. I don't know whether they might ask for an appeal at third base or not. He looked to me, Lou, like he got an awful quick jump over there.
Well, there was no need for him to do that because the wind carries the ball out. Mercer thought the ball was hit harder than it was hit and moved back.
And he came in and made the catch, made the throw into second. There is no appeal by the Cubs, so it's 1-0 Cincinnati, and credit Knight with driving in his 10th run of the year with a sacrifice fly. That brings up the young pitcher, Mike Lacoste, who's 2 for 9 as a hitter. He's jammed by the first pitch, swings and misses for strike one. Kenny within an inch, or maybe even less, of having gotten the second strikeout in the inning. Followed by a sacrifice fly. There's a swing to tap over the pitcher's mound. That's tough. Ontiveros picks it up, throws. He's got him at first base. And a nice play by Ontiveros, who wound up all the way on the first base side. The 1 run on 1 hit. The Cubs come to bat after an inning and a half with the Reds leading 1-0.
When your car needs an oil change, chances are what you say is change the oil, which is all you need to say unless you want to make a change for the better. Namely, new Ultra D motor oil from Marathon. Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a special blend of natural and synthetic ingredients that's really different from conventional blends. A special blend that means improved engine protection for you under all kinds of weather and driving conditions. New Ultra D motor oil has special anti-wear additives that protect the critical parts of your engine longer than conventionally blended multi-grade oils, up to 15,000 miles. Better motor oil means a better running engine every time you drive your car, wherever you drive.
Make a change for the better with new Ultra D.
A change for the better from the people who do it better. Marathon Oil Company.
You know, Lou, I got a friend whose car is really old and worn out.
How worn out is it, Vince?
Well, his car is so worn out, every time he goes downtown to make a payment on it, he has to take a cab.
Well, better he should pay a visit to his Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer, raise a little ruckus with a brand new Cutlass.
Yeah, the Gallup men of Olds have a great lineup, from the sporty Cutlass Calais to the luxurious Cutlass Supreme Brome.
No pinch hitters needed there.
Stop in at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer.
Tell him Vince and Lou sent you.
Well, Dave Kingman, who got tied up with one swing of the bat, is leading off as we move to the second inning. Here's the windup, Lacosse's first pitch, and he takes ball one. Dave hitting .253 now with 7 homers and 19 runs batted in. They could just get a hold of one, get it up in the air at all. That wind should carry it all the way out. Here's the windup in the pitch. Fastball swung on at a ground ball. They have the shift down to shortstop. Concepcion has it. He is out. One away, and before Oliveira steps in, let's take a moment. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago, 2 minutes past 2 o'clock, 84 degrees.
Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field. 1-0 Reds. Oliveira batting .309. 4 runs batted in. Steve with no homers so far. Reds are here tomorrow through Thursday. Then the Cubs will be at Houston over the weekend and then come back to Wrigley Field next Tuesday. Swing and a foul over in the first base side. Lacasse with a good fastball and a good sinker and a slider. Generally keeps that ball down. The Philadelphia Phillies will be here next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the following weekend, the Pittsburgh Pirates in town. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh following the Reds. That'll be next week. Fastball, it's high and away, ball 1, strike 1. An easy way to keep track of the Cubs schedule, of course, is with the official Cubs calendar for the year. And it is a dandy. 1-1 delivery. Oliveira feels a fastball tucked right in under his chin. 2-1. That calendar is loaded with a lot of information. Historical facts, important dates, players' birthdays. Gives you everything you need to know about him. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 2-2. To get the official Cub calendar, send $3 plus 50 cents for postage and handling. The calendar, Wrigley Field, Chicago, 60613. Tall, rangy right-hander Mike Lacasse bends to get his sign from veteran bench. Wind up in the 2-2 pitch. Oliveira takes ball 3. High and tight. Jerry Martin in the on-deck circle. 1 out, bases empty, Reds leading 1-0. Here it is. Swung on and a drive into left field. If it stays fair, and it does, he may try, better hold up. Foster coming over quickly. Gets that ball out near the Cub bullpen mound. And Oliveira is on with an opposite field single, so each team now with 1 base hit. That brings up Jerry Martin, hitting .243. Couple of homers for this right-hander and 8 runs batted in. Fairly wide straightaway stance for Martin, wearing Cub uniform number 28. Tying run at first base with 1 out, bottom of inning number 2. Here's Lacasse from the stretch, the pitch. Swung on, fouls it back. And it hits the side of the upper deck behind first base. Midland Farm Club lost last night to San Antonio 3-2. Well pitched by both ball clubs. Midland under Randy Hundley this year, now 15-12, 3 games over 500. Wichita, the top farm club, is 5 games under the 500 mark. 0-1 delivery from Lacasse. Martin, jam with it, swings and misses. 0-2. The Cubs farm team at the Quad Cities pounded out 13 hits en route to a 6-3 victory over Appleton, Wisconsin last night. Quad City now 10-8. Lacasse from the stretch. Martin swings and he fouls that one back into the vacant upper deck. 0-2 on him. Well, I mentioned that Cincinnati team batting mark, 282 for the year. The Cubs hitting 250. Last year, the Cubs wound up just nosing out the Dodgers for the team batting championship in the National League, but their home run production was way down last year. 0-2 pitch. He hits a ground ball right side. It's going through for a base hit. Here's Oliveira stopping at second base. As Summers charges in, picks the ball up in the outfield grass in shallow right. Runners at first and second. One away for the switch-hitting catcher, Tim Blackwell. Only been at bat 7 times, but he's made the most of it so far. Tim has 3 hits and 3 runs batted in just 7 trips to the plate. Martin jammed by it, but he still gets it through the right side between DeFreitas, the first baseman, and Joe Morgan at second. Base hit here could tie it up. They tallied on a walk, double, walk, and a sacrifice fly in the top of this inning. 0-1 pitch, just high fastball, 1-0. 22-year-old right-hander Mike Lacoste walks off onto the grass. Now comes right back up the hill. Got a victory over the Cubs, 4-1 at Cincinnati last Wednesday. The stretch, the pitch. Strike call with a fastball away to Tim. And again, Lacoste tucks the glove under the arm and takes a little stroll around the pitcher's mound onto the grass. Taking plenty of time. Well, the kid climbs back up. Solid red stockings in their uniforms, the gray road uniforms for the Reds. Red caps. Now he's ready. 2 on, 1 out. 1-1 pitch coming up. Blackwell swings, fouls it over the Cub dugout. 1-2. Judging from the fan reaction, we had a good catch here by a customer. Souvenir off the bat of Tim Blackwell. There's 3 hits this year, 2 singles and a triple. Walked 5 times, shows he has a good eye. Struck out only once. Batting left-handed, choking up in the bat a couple of inches. 1 out, 2 on, and a 1-2 pitch on its way. Takes it outside, 2-2. And again, Lacoste gets the return throw from bench, and again rolls around in the grass for a moment. The bleachers are jammed today. Well, the guys out there stripped to the waist, getting themselves an early tan. A warm wind blowing on them. Here's Lacoste into the stretch, and the 2-2 pitch. Tim takes it very high. Ball 3, strike 2. Ted Sizemore in the on-deck circle. And again, Lacoste takes a stroll in the grass. Only daytime action right here at Wrigley Field today. In a 1-0 ball game with the Reds leading, we're in the bottom of inning number 2. 3-2 pitch coming up. Lacoste fires. Blackwell swings, fouls that one out of play to the third base side. It's still 3-2 on him. Mike Krukow is slated to start tomorrow's game against the Reds here. 1-1 against Paul Moscow, who's 1-0 for Cincy. Then Dennis Lamp shoots for win number 4 to close out the homestand here against Cincy on Thursday. And his mound opponent, probable pitcher Tom Hume, was 3-3. So we'll not see bottom receiver apparently. Runners at first and second, 1 away. And again, the 3-2 pitch. Blackwell swung, and he got enough of it to stay alive. He fouled it sharply back out of the screen behind the plate. Cookie Rojas, wearing number 1, coaching at first base. Wearing number 5, coaching at third, Joe Amalfitano. Steve Ontiveros, the runner at second base, carries the tying run. Boy, that wind is really blowing out hard. A hot day. Lacoste taking plenty of time. Kid now has his sign, goes into the stretch again. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Blackwell goes after one around the letter, swings and misses, throw to third. It's a double play. Ontiveros is thrown out as he went on the hit and run, and it looked like Blackwell chased a pitch high out of the strike zone. So in the second inning, Cubs do not score. Reds still lead 1-0.
Perfect. The way the great European brewmasters have brewed their beers for centuries. It's the only way we brew Heileman's Old Style. Next time, make it old style. Pure brewed in God's country, slowly and naturally. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Save $30 this Mother's Day and give the convenience and security of a Chamberlain garage door opener. The heavy-duty motor lets Mom open the heaviest garage door, turn on the lights, close the door, and turn off the lights at the push of a button. Buy Mom the Chamberlain garage door opener and install it yourself easily with the fully illustrated instructions included in the take-home box. Save $30 on a Chamberlain Executive garage door opener for Mother's Day.
Polk Brothers and G. Lumber have Chamberlain garage door openers at a $30 savings for Mother's Day.
Well, that was reminiscent, Lou, of that inning over there last week when we had men at first and second, and all of a sudden, the inning was over.
Well, they decided to run on a 3-2 pitch with the left-handed hitter at bat. On a strikeout, it gives Bench an open door to throw to the third baseman. They had him by plenty. Griffey leads off the third inning, and the count now is 1-1. He struck out in the first inning. Reds lead 1-0. Holtzman into the windup, 1-1 pitch. Fastball swinging, a ground ball to second baseman. Sizemore down on one knee, has it, throws to Buckner for the out. One out, and here is Concepcion, who lined to Martin in center field, first time at bat. Holtzman has given up 1 run, 1 hit. He has struck out 1, and he's walked 2, and the walk has scored. Now he's facing Concepcion. Morgan due up next. First pitch. Curveball swinging a tap foul into the Cubs dugout. Cubs will take on the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow afternoon and Thursday afternoon before leaving for Houston for a weekend series of 4 games. 1 strike pitch. Curveball swinging a line drive, base hit. Down the left field line, it's into the corner. Kingman chasing it. Concepcion rounds first and will pull up into second base with a double. His 5th double of the year. And he's on second base now with 1 out. Both hits of Holtzman thus far have been doubles. Now here's Morgan at bat. Hit one that he thought was on the screen back of the plate, but the wind caught it and brought it back where Blackwell fielded the ball for the out. The wind blowing directly out to center field over 20 miles an hour. Any ball hit up in the air with any authority at all, you have to hold your breath. The wind may carry it out of the ballpark. That is, if a Cincinnati Reds hit it. The pitch. Fastball outside, ball 1. Holtzman can't believe the call. He asked where that pitch was. 1 out. Concepcion on second base. Holtzman ready. Checks the runner. Here's the pitch to Morgan. Sidearm curveball for a strike. Morgan can't believe that call. Well, we want to wish Bill Paulin a happy birthday and hoping that he's recovering from his little illness. He's back home now enjoying the birthday and enjoying Cubs broadcast. Bill out in Stickney, Illinois. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Morgan takes that fastball below the knees. Ball 2, strike 1. Cincinnati has straightened out their attack as they only trail Houston by 1.5 games. Swing, a line drive, curving, foul. Down the right field line. That ball was hit like a bullet down that right field line and curved foul just at the last moment. It's a long strike on Morgan. The count now 2-2. Now let's see if Holtzman will give him that sidearm curveball to try to brush him away from the plate, then have that ball break over the outside corner. 1 out. Concepcion with a big lead at second base. Here's the 2-2 pitch now to Morgan. Curveball inside, and Holtzman is upset. He comes off of that mound hollering. He thought he had Morgan struck out. Holtzman is just about 5 feet on the grass in front of that plate. Had he done that with a National League umpire, he would have been gone. He really charged that plate on that call thinking that he had Morgan struck out. It was a curveball over the inside corner. Morgan did back away from it, but the ball must have stayed inside, according to the plate umpire, Riccio. So it's a full count, 3-2. You know Kenny wanted that strikeout. Foster is due up next. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Curveball. Line drive, base hit. To right field, Mercer charges the ball. Here's the play at the plate. It's cut off by Buckner, and he can't get the ball out of his glove. Morgan advances to second base. It's a single. Holtzman still giving the umpire a little going over at the plate. On a 3-2 curveball, which was high, Morgan singles to right to drive in his 11th run of the season. Puts Cincinnati out in front 2-0. And Morgan on his way to second base, and Buckner lined up for the throw, saw that, cut it off, had Morgan. He was a dead duck. But Buckner couldn't get the ball out of that big first baseman's glove. So Morgan now is on second base with one out, and here's Foster at bat. No error on the play. First pitch, low, inside, ball one. So Morgan has changed places with Concepcion. 2-0, Cincinnati. Foster tapped in front of the plate on a let-up and was thrown out in the second inning. Let up, but it's high. Foster was out in front of it, and usually with power hitters, that's what they'll get. A lot of let-ups, so they'll be far out in front, actually spent, and that front foot will be planted. Consequently, they very seldom will get power on their contact. But today, they don't need much power with that wind blowing as it is. Foster swings, hits a ground ball high over Antaveras' head. DeJesus behind Antaveras gloves the ball, but no play, but he prevents a run from scoring. That ball hit on the dirt part in front of the plate and bounced over Antaveras' head for a base hit. Morgan advances to third, and only because DeJesus could feel the ball on the outfield grass prevented Morgan from scoring. Now, Cincinnati has 4 hits. They have runners on first and third, 1 out, and bench the hitter. Boy, they can send a lineup that really comes after you. Here's the first pitch to bench. Curveball for a strike call, the beauty. Holtzman got the first man in the inning, Griffey, to ground out. Then Concepcion doubled in the left field corner. Morgan singled for 1 run, went to second on the throw. Foster with an infield hit is on first. Pop foul on that fastball. Holtzman out in front of bench, 0-2. Double play would look mighty pretty right here. Holtzman is ready, gets his side, looks directly at Foster leading off first base. 0-2 pitch. Fastball hits his bat, goes back to the screen. Kenny had that ball high and in. And Bench, fortunately, nicked it with his bat. 2 strikes. Cubs infield set for a double play. Here's the stretch by Holtzman. Here's the pitch by Holtzman. Curveball, swing and a miss. He let up on that curveball beautifully. And it broke sharply down as it crossed the plate. And Bench was fooled. 2 outs now, and he has to get rid of DeFreitas, who doubled down the right field line. A very close call in the second inning as that ball just went over the bag. That is only it's the 15th time Bench has struck out this year. And a big one for Kenny if he can get this hitter. Curveball, and he swings over it. Strike 1. Reds lead 2-0. Runners on first and third now with 2 outs. Holtzman has to work hard to get out of this inning with only 1 run scoring. He's into the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball and a swing and a miss. He threw that one past DeFreitas. Now he's out in front. 0-2. Kenny working hard, deliberately on that mound, and he's not holding back anything. He has thrown great fastballs, great curveballs. He knows with this wind blowing out, he has to have a little extra. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Curveball, he wasted it outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reds lead 2-0. Top of the third inning. Right-handed hitter DeFreitas at bat. Had quite a year for Indianapolis. Here's the pitch. Curveball, swinging a tap to the third baseman. Olivares has it. Throw a strike. He does, and he's out, and Holtzman is out of the inning with only 1 run scoring on 3 hits. So Cubs come to bat trailing 2-0.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Fred Drips here, Bob, the man without a home.
Ooh, what happened, Fred? Hurricane fire?
Parents, Bob.
Huh?
They kicked me out of their house.
Their house?
Can you believe it, Bob? After 42 years,
Well, it's...
my wife and I will need a moving loan,
Oh,
Bob.
you both lived in...
Yeah, we're going to move in with her folks.
You sure you want to do that?
Oh, sure. They love the baby girls.
Well, that's nice.
They just think the 4 boys are loud.
Well, boys will be boys.
These boys will be a rock band.
Must be very entertaining.
Oh, yeah. Every time they play, Shep and the 12 pups get so excited.
I better get to work on that moving loan. Where will you be living?
The south, the west, the north.
How can you live in...
Well, we'll go wherever her folks take their trailer.
I'll hurry that loan.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
It makes sense to call Bob Adams for their people-to-people service. General Finance's professional experience and the particular plan for your particular needs. 70 Chicago area offices, including Joliet. Borrow up to $10,000 or for a large homeowner's loan, call in over 32020.
This Mother's Day, give Mom more time away from the kitchen by choosing a time-saving appliance from a True Value hardware store. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest the Daisy Seal-A-Meal bag sealer. Mom can seal leftovers in the airtight, boilable bags, freeze them, then later boil them in water for a meal in minutes. Mom can even prepare larger portions of food to freeze and prepare quickly later on. Give Mom more time for herself. Away from the kitchen with a Daisy Seal-A-Meal for just $9.88 at participating True Value hardware stores.
Ted Sizemore will lead off the third inning for the Cubs. Lacoste into the windup, the pitch, fastball swing, and a low fly ball into left field. Foster coming in quickly. It falls in front of him for a base hit. That is the third hit off of Lacoste, and the Cubs couldn't get 1 hit off of this youngster until the 6th inning in Cincinnati. He had a perfect game for 5. Now here's Kenny Holtzman at bat. Cubs trail 2-0. Let's see if manager Herman Franks plays for 1 run or he lets Kenny swing away. Holtzman is batting .333. He has 2 hits, 6 times at bat, and one of the 2 hits, a double. Knight in shallow at third. First pitch on the way. He's going to bunt, but takes it high. Ball 1. He better be ready. Lacoste is quick. Kenny checks down to Amalfitano, gets his sign. Now he's back in the batter's box. Here's the ball 1 pitch by Lacoste. Going to bunt, takes it high, ball 2. The natural position for a sacrifice is that hitter to turn around. Just bend over some. Keep that bat out in front of him. If the ball is above the bat, let it go. It's a bad pitch out of the strike zone. That's what Kenny has done on the first 2 pitches. Here's the third one coming. He's going to bunt. That one is low for a strike. Called strike. Now it's 2-1. Sizemore is on first. Nobody out. Third inning. Cubs trail. Cincinnati 2. Cubs nothing. Knight continues to play in on the grass at third. Here's the stretch. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Holtzman. He's going to swing. He does and pops it up. Concepcion is there. Moves towards third base. Gloves it one-handed for the out. Holtzman, given the green light, pops out to the shortstop. Now with 1 out, here's De Jesus at bat. So, when you take the sacrifice away, you may throw in a hit and run to try to move your man to scoring position. Let's see what De Jesus does. De Jesus was called out on strikes in the first inning. First pitch by the right-hander. He bunts, and he bunts a pop-up to Lacoste. He has it. Sizemore is a dead duck at first base. He was moving off the base. So, De Jesus bunts into a double play, to close out the third inning. Cincinnati 2, Cubs nothing.
Here's Paul Anka for McDonald's.
Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Nobody else in this whole land. Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Everybody, he always knew it. Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Nobody else has got the taste of a Big Mac. Nobody has those famous fries coming back. Nobody serves you back. Nobody can. You're the reason we do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Run out and get a Big Mac.
If running around is getting you down and you're not sure you're getting enough vitamins, get Theragran high-potency vitamins on sale now at Osco. More physicians and pharmacists recommend Theragran than any other multivitamin formula. And they're the vitamins selected by the U.S. Olympic Committee. Don't guess. Get Theragran or Theragran M 100 plus 30 tablets. Osco sale priced at only $4.99, but hurry in. Sale ends today.
Here is Summers opening up the fourth inning. First pitch by Holtzman is a curveball ball. This is WGN, Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago 229.
The next pitch is outside, ball 2 now to Summers. Holtzman in the lineup to pitch. There's a fastball right down the middle. Strike 1. Summers walked in the second inning. Reds are out in front, 2-0. We're in the top of the fourth inning. The pitch. Fastball pop foul onto the net. 2-2 the count. Cincinnati with 2 runs, 4 hits. Cubs no runs, 3 hits. It'll be from the 5th inning on. Here's a sidearm curveball. That hit Summers. Won't even rub because it was a sidearm let-up curveball. He's hit by a pitch. He's on first to open up the fourth inning, and here's Knight at bat. That's Holtzman's first hit batter. Now here's Knight. Grounded out. Taveras made a fine play, having to go behind the mound to take that high-bounding ball off of Knight's bat. First pitch. Curveball high outside. Ball 1. As I started to mention, from the 5th inning on, as these pitchers tire somewhat, you'll see some high fly balls going out of this ballpark for home runs. Here's the pitch. Instead, he throws to first, and Summers gets back safely. Holtzman keeping these Cincinnati Reds close. 2-0. The pitch. Curveball inside, ball 2. Lacoste, the pitcher, due up next. John McNamara, formerly the skipper of the San Diego Padres, the skipper of the Cincinnati Reds. Well-liked gentleman and a good baseball man. High, ball 3 on the next pitch. So the 7th and 8th men have been giving Holtzman a lot of trouble here. He didn't walk Summers. He had a count of 2-2 when he hit him. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle, strike 1. He'll be going after this one. 3-1 the count, nobody out. The pitcher due up next. Holtzman sets. Here's the pitch. It's right down the middle for a strike. Knight, take it. I don't know what he's complaining about. That ball hit Blackwell's glove over the heart of the plate. It's 3-2. Holtzman had a little mustard on that one and had it past Knight. Now, Summers with his lead at first. Here's the pitch. He fouls it back to the screen, and Summers was not moving on the 3-2 pitch. He may be going this time. If he does, then he missed the sign on the first 3-2 pitch. Holtzman rubbing up the new baseball. Has to check Summers first before he can deliver tonight. Now he gets a sign from Tim Blackwell, his catcher today. Checks Summers at first base. Holds him. Here's the pitch. Pop foul, and once again Summers was not going. The count remains 3-2 on Knight. Cubs infield set up for a double play. Kenny once again gets his sign. Shakes his head yes. Now he's making Knight wait. Here's the stretch. Here's the pitch. Let up. Low. He let up. He shook off Blackwell. Thought he could get the let off close to the plate, but he didn't, and he walks Knight. That's the third walk of this game, and now the pitcher, Lacoste, will bat with runners on first and second, nobody out. So the Cubs go into their defensive maneuvers, expecting the pitcher to bunt, and Ontiveros will call the play. Whether they attempt to force Summers at third or get the man at first. Buckner is very shallow at first base. Ontiveros on the grass at third. They're hoping to force Summers at third. Here's the pitch by Holtzman. There's the bunt. He bunts through the pitch, and it is a strike. This forces the hitter to try to push the ball down to Ontiveros at third. Ontiveros once again calls time. If you recall, he got caught last year when he didn't call time, and the man on second base stole third. So now he calls time every time he goes in and tells Holtzman where he wants this particular ball to be thrown if it's fielded by Holtzman or Buckner. Here's the stretch. The pickoff play at second base, but Summers is back safely. Now, Ontiveros looks in, gets a sign from the bench, calls time, goes in and talks to Holtzman, and will come back and touch part of his face to give the sign to the other infielders. He touched his chin, went to his ear. Now, you guess what's going to happen. Buckner in very shallow at first, and he will come in as the pitch is thrown to Lacoste. The stretch. Here comes Buckner. Here's the pitch. The ball is inside, ball one. The Cubs have changed the sign again, and their timeout is called. Ontiveros comes into Holtzman. Tells him and gives the sign to his infielders. Buckner hasn't changed. He's about 10 or 12 feet in at first base on the infield grass and will move in towards the pitcher. Holtzman sets. 1-1 pitch. There's the bunt, and he bunts through the high fastball. He did not turn around, and the ball was high, and he bunts through the pitch for strike two. Top of the order, Griffey due up next. Cubs are keeping the same play on as they had before. Holtzman has a sign. Checks the runners. Here's the pitch. Curveball. He bunts through it for a strikeout. Third strikeout for Holtzman. So now with one out, here's Griffey at bat. He has struck out, and he has grounded out to Sizemore. Ray Burris now warming up for the Cubs in the bullpen. Cincinnati 2, Cubs nothing, top of the fourth inning. Holtzman has worked hard. I believe this is the hardest that I've seen Holtzman work this year insofar as the first 3 1/3 innings. He's thrown hard. He's thrown a lot of curveballs. He's only thrown about 3 let-ups, trying to keep Cincinnati close. Here's the pitch. Curveball, ground ball to Buckner. He has it, fumbles it, picks it up, too late. Cannot make the play. It's one of the few errors that is charged to Buckner. Too bad he had the ball. I'm not going to say he's going to double up Griffey, who's very fast, but he certainly would have forced Knight at second base for the second out. But as it is, the bases are loaded with one out. And Concepcion, who has hit the ball well on 2 occasions, he is lined out to Martin, and he's doubled down the left field line. Well, let's see if Kenny can pitch himself out of the jam. Bases are loaded, one out. And the power coming up. If he's not already in the batter's box, it's Concepcion, Morgan, and Foster. Cubs need that double play. Kenny is not taking his windup. Here's the first pitch. Fastball for a strike call over the inside corner. Looks like Kenny has more confidence in his stretch than he does with his windup here with the bases loaded and Summers on third. One out. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball inside. It's 1-1. Concepcion with a closed stance levels the bat over the plate. Cubs deep in all positions. Holtzman set. The ball one. Strike one pitch on its way. Swing and a ground ball base hit into left field. Summers will score. Here comes Knight around third. Kingman's throw is off target at the plate and cut off by Ontiveros. So Concepcion has 2 for 3. He has driven in his 15th and 16th run of this ball game. It's now 4-0 in favor of Cincinnati. That was the 5th hit off Holtzman. And here's Morgan, and Mike Rourke comes walking out of the dugout. Even had Buckner completed the play, the force out at second, 1 run would have scored. But nevertheless, we wouldn't have given the Cincinnati Reds an extra out here in this inning. And what it means? Well, it means that Morgan is now batting. Foster may come up, and so does Johnny Bench. That's what it means when you give an opposition 4 or 5 outs an inning, and especially the Cincinnati Reds. Here's Morgan at bat. He's 1 for 2. Runners on first and second. First pitch by Holtzman. Curveball, high. Ball 1. Had Morgan been called out on strikes when Holtzman thought he had him struck out in the 3rd inning, we would have saved 1 run. Swinging a high fly ball, center field, right center. Martin calls for it. Griffey tagging up. The wind carries it back. Martin drops the ball. Here comes Griffey around third. He's going to score, and Concepcion holds up at third base. Oh, let me tell you, that was just a normal fly ball into right center, but it was so high that wind kept carrying it away from Martin. By the time he reached back, he was on the warning track, and the ball popped out of his glove. It's an error on Martin. It allowed Griffey to score. Well, let me tell you, that wind is really tough. He almost caught it. He bobbled it in the air after it once hit his glove, but it dropped to the ground. That's a 2-base error for Martin, the 2nd error of the inning for the Cubs, which allows Griffey to score the 3rd run of the inning. Concepcion is on 3rd. Morgan on 2nd for Foster. It's 5-0. And they're going to put Foster on to pitch to Bench. This will be Kenny's 4th walk. Ball 2 outside. Burris is ready when called upon. He's in the bullpen. No other action to report. In the National League, the Mets will be at Los Angeles, Pittsburgh at Atlanta, Montreal at San Francisco, Philadelphia at San Diego, St. Louis at Houston. In the American League, it'll be the White Sox at Detroit, Cleveland at Milwaukee, Kansas City at Texas, Seattle at New York, California at Boston, Toronto at Minnesota, Oakland at Baltimore. Here's Bench. Yes, bases are loaded. Holtzman struck him out last time. First pitch by Kenny, curveball for a strike call. Kenny's into the windup. The pitch. Fastball high. He wasted it. Now with the bases loaded to Bench, Holtzman taking his windup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases are loaded. The wind-up and pitch on its way. Fastball is high. Ball 2, strike 1. And if you followed Bench's career, when there's men in scoring position, he really bears down. Two and 1 pitch. Let up. Line drive. Left field line. Foul ball. He got out in front of that let up. It's 2 and 2. Now let's see if Kenny can strike him out. 1 out in the inning. Although the Cubs actually should be batting here in the 4th inning due to the 2 errors, 1 by Buckner, 1 by Martin. But the Reds are batting with only 1 out. Here's the 2 and 2 pitch. Fastball, he swings and misses. He went after a high fastball out of the strike zone, and you won't see that very often. So Bench strikes out, and perhaps you can go to the strikeout in the 3rd inning when Kenny used the curveball to strike Bench out. So he was looking for that curveball. He won't use that bat again because he just broke it in the dugout. Can't blame that bat, Johnny. Just wasn't wide enough. Here is the first pitch now to DeFreitas. Curveball outside. So Bench was looking for that curveball, and he didn't get it. 2 outs now, DeFreitas at bat. 1 for 2. The Reds have batted around. The pitch. Fastball and a swing and a miss. Kenny still has good stuff. 1 and 1 to count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Concepcion on 3rd. Morgan on 2nd. Foster on 1st. The 1 and 1 pitch on its way. Curveball for a strike call. A beauty. That one exploded. That one started outside, and let me tell you, as soon as it got 2 feet in front of that plate, it exploded over the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kenny has a sign from Blackwell. Looks in, stares in, concentrates on that strike zone. Here's the 1 and 2 pitch. Curveball, he let up on it, and it sailed high. He had 1 pitch to work with, and that was it. Now it's 2 and 2. So he has the hitter actually going to thinking right now on a 2 and 2 pitch. Kenny actually has another pitch to work with, but you don't want to get down to that 3 and 2 spot with the bases loaded. Here's the 2 and 2 pitch. Let up. Swing off of the bare hand of Holtzman to Sizemore. He can't pick it up. The runner trying to score from second. The slide. He's safe. 2-run score as that line drive went off of the bare hand, the left hand of Holtzman. Now Sizemore at second base was moving towards second base to field the ball. So he had to change direction, come back, try to make a one-handed grab, and missed. Consequently, Concepcion scored from third, and then with fast base running, the runner Morgan at second base slid under the tag for the second run on that particular hit. The Reds have scored 5 here in the 4th inning. It's 7-0. Franks is out on the mound talking to Kenny, looking to the bullpen, and it looks like we're going to get Burris, so let's pause for this message.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Pete Scalero here, Bob.
Hi, Pete.
Bob, how many times did you want half of a ham sandwich, but were too busy to fold the ham?
What, Pete?
Bob, say hello to the inventor of the luncheon meat folder.
You mean a folder that folds the ham in half?
Not just ham, corned beef, bologna, pastrami, and...
Sounds terrific.
You know, Bob, the darn thing even works on mayonnaise.
It folds mayonnaise.
As soon as I work out one wrinkle, it's all set.
Great. What's the
In the meantime, I've got a lot of personal bills piling up.
Well, a consolidation loan can turn those bills into one monthly payment, Pete.
Oh, there you go.
What's the one wrinkle?
And, Bob, do you like tomatoes on your sandwich?
Love 'em.
Well, that's the wrinkle.
Oh, yeah?
It mushes them right up.
Well, I think people can fold their own tomatoes.
You think so?
Of course.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
Call Bob Adams for their people-to-people service. Borrow up to $10,000 or for a large homeowner's loan, call Andover 3-2020.
This Mother's Day, give Mom a gift that will make being a mom a little bit easier. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest the GE Toast and Broil Toaster Oven from True Value Hardware Stores. The extra capacity oven will bake a cake or a large casserole or toast 4 slices of bread at once. Other features include a top brown setting, automatic shutoff, and signal bell to help make cooking more mistake-proof. Plus, the broil pan has 2 positions for more versatile and efficient broiling. Get the GE Toast and Broil at participating True Value hardware stores.
Now, you can call me prejudiced or whatever you want, but I don't think I've seen Kenny with better stuff than he had today. Actually, sure, they scored 2 runs, one in the second, one in the third. They could have scored 1 maybe in the fourth without the 2 errors. And on a day like today, holding the Cincinnati Reds to 3 or 4 runs certainly would have given the Cubs an opportunity to come back with that wind blowing out. I thought he had tremendous stuff on the mound, even though the Cubs are trailing now 7-0. But I'm just going to report what I think, what I've seen in today's pitching.
Our defense has left a lot to be desired behind him today, Lou.
That's right, plus 1 call at the plate or 2 calls at the plate.
One cost the sacrifice fly when he thought he had Ray Knight struck out just before the sacrifice fly, then on Morgan.
And a single by Morgan.
Yeah.
So, and I thought Kenny worked very hard. I don't know about the injury. I don't think the injury had anything to do with this, although it gives him an opportunity to get first aid on his pitching hand or fingers, because he did knock down DeFreitas' line drive.
Took a hard shot.
But now we go with Summers at bat, and the Reds have batted around. Summers is the 10th man to bat here in the 4th inning. Burris' first pitch outside. Ball 1.
Tell you, if he pitches that well every time out, he's going to win a lot of games.
That's my belief also. I believe it. Here's the pitch now to Summers. That's that palm ball for a strike. Actually, maybe there was 2 balls hit hard off of him. The double down the line at Concepcion, and after the missed call third strike, the single by Morgan was a line drive, and Concepcion, I'll take Concepcion's line drive to Martin. Here's Burris' 1-1 pitch to Summers. Palm ball and a foul ball down the right field line. To give you some stats on Burris, this is his 10th game, the highest on the Cubs staff. He's pitched 13 2/3 innings. He has an 8.3 earned run average, but that, in my opinion, doesn't indicate the finesse and the fine pitching that Burris has done. Cubs trail 7-0. 2 outs, runners on first and second. 1 ball, 2 strike count to Summers. The pitch on its way. Fastball that he missed. 2-2 the count. Summers was hit by one of Holtzman's pitches with a count of 2-2 on him to start this inning off. You're quite sure that Holtzman didn't want that to happen. 2-2 pitch. Fastball, just missing over the inside corner. Now it's 3-2. Summers playing in right field today, formerly with the Cubs. Good power. Levels that bat over the plate. Burris set. The runners on their way. Here's the fake pickoff play at second base. The runners will be on their way with this pitch. The count is 3-2 and 2 strikes and 2 outs, I should say, in the inning. There they go. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball left field. Play back, Kingman. It'll come back to you. He backs up a few steps. He has it. 3 outs. In the 4th inning, 5 runs for Cincinnati. It's Cincinnati 7, Cubs nothing. Cubs coming to bat, 4th inning.
The gallant band of old, we make our buying a pleasure again.
Your gallant men of olds announcing the totally new front-wheel drive 1980 Omega. The new Omega rides and handles like a big car because Oldsmobile applied the big car approach to small car design. Omega is the most tested car in GM history, proven in computer tests, proven on the road. And of course, the real proof is the driving comfort and handling ease you will experience at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. Choose from the practical Omega, the luxurious Omega Brome, or the sporty Omega SX. The 1980 Omega is unlike any other small car you've ever seen. Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer and test drive the totally new 1980 Omega.
The gallant man of old, we make our buying a pleasure again. The gallant man of old, we make our buying a pleasure again. The gallant man of old.
Mrs. Robert Bludgeon of Darien proved a lower tape total by shopping at Eagle. Mrs. Bludgeon purchased items of her own choice at Eagle for $48.30. She then purchased the same or comparable items at a supermarket of her own choosing for $54.13. Mrs. Bludgeon saved $5.83 at Eagle. That's documented savings of 12%. Mrs. Bludgeon proved once again that you get more food for less money at Eagle. The food experts.
Here's Mercer leading off for the Cubs in the fourth inning. Pops one foul. To bear out some of the facts that Vince and I were talking about in Holtzman's pitching, out of the 7 runs that are on the board, only 3 were earned. So if you go into the last of the fourth inning with only 3 runs against you, you know that you've got quite a chance. Fastball swing and a little fly ball in the center field for a base hit. The wind carries it out of Concepcion's reach. That is the 4th hit for the Cubs, and now here's Buckner at bat. Buckner grounded to first time at bat. Billy Buck hitting the ball well of late. Steps in the batter's box. Kingman due up next. Cincinnati 7, Cubs nothing. Lacoste on the mound. Gets his sign. Here's the first pitch now to Buckner. Fastball low, ball 1. Reds with 7 runs, 6 hits. Cubs no runs, 4 hits. The long ball is needed by the Cubs right now to get back into that ball game. There's one outside, and Buck drops the bat. Didn't want to go through with that swing, and it's ball 2. No strike. First baseman, DeFreitas, is holding Mercer on at first. Lacoste checks Mercer. Now he pitches to Buckner. Swing a line drive right center. It's dropping quickly, but Griffey comes over. Drops the ball, but Mercer don't know where to go. He's called out by the second base umpire, which is correct. They're making the sign so the runner doesn't get caught right in the middle. Buckner hesitated between first and second, but Griffey did have that ball. He took 2 or 3 strides and reached for the ball to take it out of his glove. And these modern-day gloves look like pillows. It's tough to get the ball out of there. There's so much leather. It's an out, and Mercer is back on first base. Cubs there's no argument whatsoever. Now here's Kingman at bat. First pitch, inside. But let me tell you, Griffey fooled me by coming over there and making that play. He moved very quickly to make the play in right center. 1 out. Like to see Kingman get a hold of one. Mercer on first. Here's the pitch by Lacoste. Strike called over the outside corner. Kingman didn't like it. We're in the 4th inning. Cincinnati 7, Cubs nothing. The pitch. Low. Ball 2, strike 1 now to Dave. One out in the 4th. Ontiveros due up next. Mercer with a short lead at first base. There's no place to go, 7 runs behind. Swing and a miss by Kingman, 2-2. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago. It's 85 degrees.
The ball 2, strike 2 pitch. Swing and a foul back of the plate. Kingman gets another shot. 2-2 the count. first of a 3-game set here between the Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. And as I've mentioned before, they have certainly got back in the groove as they have won 15 and lost 12 and trailed Houston by 1.5 games after a poor start. Now, Lacoste is ready. Pitch on its way. High, ball 3. Kingman stayed off of that high inside fastball. Full count on Dave. 3-2. The wind continuing to blow out to left center. Tremendous velocity. Now the 3-2 pitch on its way. High inside, ball 4, and Kingman takes that pitch. That is the first walk issued by Lacoste. Here's Olivares at bat. Cubs runners on first and second. And this fella's due for a long ball. Steve Olivares having a great start, hitting .309, but yet he only has 4 RBIs. Let's see if he can add to that total right here. Batting left-handed. First pitch to him by Lacoste. Ooh, is high inside. He has to duck away from that pitch. Ball 1. Morgan wants to come in and settle the youngster down. He has a tendency to get into wild streaks. He's only walked one man, that being Kingman. Morgan wants to be sure that he doesn't put any more men on base by 4 bad pitches. Mercer with a short lead at second. Kingman off first. Lacoste is ready. So is Olivares. The pitch. Swing and one deep hit to right field. Ball is over the head against the wall of Summers. 1 run will score. Kingman will hold up at third. And only the sinking of that line drive prevented Olivares from getting a home run. But it was hit sharply over Summers' head in right field, so the Cubs score their first run off Lacoste in this game. And now it's 7-1 with runners on second and third. And here's Martin at bat. Olivares 2 for 2 now. Martin, the big man here in this inning. Cincinnati giving the Cubs the run. Kingman at third. The infield playing deep. Lacoste will take his windup. The pitch. Swinging a foul back to the screen. Strike 1. Boy, if we could pick up those 2 runners there, we're back in the ball game. Donnie Moore warming up in the Cubs bullpen. If we get down to Burris, we'll have a pinch hitter. Let's hope we get down to Ray in this inning. Martin levels the bat over the plate. Martin singled to right. First time at bat. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball to the right side of the infield. Morgan makes a one-handed catch. Throws to first. He's safe. As DeFreitas is off the bag, Kingman scores. Morgan, running far to his left, fielded the ball on the grass. There's no argument from the bench at first base because they have the best view of the play. And Morgan's throw while running to his left, it's a difficult play, pulls DeFreitas off the bag, and Martin is safe. Kingman scores. It's 5-2, and they credit Martin with a base hit. He gets his 9th RBI of the season. It's now 7-2, and Olivares has moved on to third base. And here's Blackwell to the plate. First pitch. High, ball 1. Now you can go back and see what it means to give a team like the Cincinnati Reds extra outs in the inning. 4 and 5 outs in the inning, and they capitalized on it. Here's the 1-ball pitch. It's high, ball 2. Sizemore due up next. A single by Mercer opened up the inning. Buckner flied out on a fine running catch by Griffey in right center. Then Kingman walked onto Veras. Doubled off the wall in right center. Scoring Mercer. Kingman holding up at third. And then Martin got an infield hit on Morgan's play, which pulled DeFreitas off the bag. Now here's the pitch to Blackwell. Inside, ball 3. And now Bench wants to try to settle down his young pitcher. 7-2 Cubs, but picking up that runner on third will certainly help right here in this situation. But more help would be the runner on first, Martin. Now, Bourbon has left the Cincinnati Reds dugout, walking down the bullpen, and will start warming up. Here's the ball 3, no strike pitch. It's high, ball 4, bases are loaded. Bases are loaded for Sizemore. And Fisher, the pitching coach, is taking a walk to the mound. This, of course, will give Bourbon time to warm up. Lacrosse with a 7-2 lead, but now the Cubs have loaded up the bases. Exactly what Cincinnati did in the top of this inning. We're only in the 4th. Dinner will be late tonight. We may have one of those games, as I mentioned Sunday. I'm glad we're getting the last bat, because that's how we won the ball game Sunday. Our last bat in the 9th inning. Here's Ted Sizemore at bat. He singled in the 3rd inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. Lacoste looks into the windup. First pitch. Strike called. Fastball right down the middle. Sizemore was taking one after 4 bad pitches to the hitter in front of him, Blackwell. Strike 1 pitch. Swing, a line drive. Concepcion has it. Throws to first. Too late. The ball gets away from DeFreitas. Here's Oliveras trying to score. He's safe and scores. Let me tell you, that ball was hit like a bullet to the shortstop, Concepcion. All base runners got back to their respective bases. Concepcion thought he had a play on Blackwell. Blackwell got back to first safely. The ball jumped out of DeFreitas' glove, rolled to the plate. Ontiveros came in to score. DeFreitas tossed the ball to Bench on a very close play at the plate. The Cubs get the decision. And Ontiveros scores. I don't know how they'd score that. On a line drive out to Concepcion. I would say there has to be an error in there.
The Reds scores on an error of 3.
On an error by DeFreitas for not catching the ball. And the runners move up to second and third. It's now 7-3. Scott Thompson is going to bat for Burris. How about that play? You won't see that very often. Ontiveros with a very alert base running. Scores on a very close play. Now here's Thompson batting .353, 5 RBI. First pitch by Lacoste. Fastball for a strike call. Martin is on third. Blackwell on second. 2 outs. Strike 1 pitch. Inside, ball 1. Let me tell you, Sizemore never hit a ball any harder. It was about belt high all the way to Concepcion. And fortunately, it was hit so hard, the Cubs' base runners weren't doubled up. That's the only reason. Lacoste into the windup. 1-1 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Thompson is not noted for his long ball, but he makes contact. But today, he could be noted for a long ball if he hits one up into that wind. Got to be over 20, 25 miles an hour. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss late on one of Lacoste's fastballs. 2-2. Donnie Moore and Hernandez warming up for the Cubs. We're only in the fourth inning. Action galore here at Wrigley Field. So don't miss the next two contests against this ball club tomorrow and Thursday. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Up. Time is called as the wind gusts up at the plate, and all three, bench, the umpire, and Scott Thompson, turned. And Lacoste was in his windup. So fortunately, time was called. Two and two the count. 3 runs in for the Cubs, but they still trailed 7-3. The pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. Scott Thompson strikes out. Cubs come back to score 3 and leave 2 men on base. So at the end of 4, it's Cincinnati 7, Cubs 3.
For dress shirts this season, let the experienced sales personnel at Carroll's Men's Fashions help you select the right Enro short sleeve shirt to complement the new narrower look. Stop in at the Evergreen Carrolls and ask manager Dick Schroeder to show you the new Enro Touch Ya Silk shirts. They're 80% polyester and 20% cotton. That's a popular new blend that feels so luxurious and is remarkably easy to care for. Solid tone-on-tone shirts are $15. And the new fancy shirt with silk-like line designs woven into the fabric is $18. Carroll's also has a fine selection of 65% polyester and 35% cotton shirts. They've got a great-looking small check in assorted colors, also handsome striped shirts. Both styles cost $16. In fact, all the short-sleeve Enro dress shirts at Carroll's, including big and tall sizes, are $18 and under. See the Enro collection at Carroll's, and while you're there, pick up an official Cubs schedule. There are 9 Carroll stores in Chicagoland. Look for them in your phone book. That's Carroll's with a K. Corky's Catering will deliver a delicious hot buffet comprised of generous portions of succulent fried chicken, mouth-watering beef, relish tray, rolls, and sandwich buns, plus 4 incredible, good-tasting salads. Hey, doesn't that sound like a delicious meal? You can't beat Corky's prices, which start at $1.70 per person plus tax and delivery. Planning a graduation, communion, or wedding party? Call Corky's Catering for a free brochure. Call Corky's Catering now for your free brochure. That's 595-9090. Corky's, 595-9090. Donnie Moore, the Cubs' third pitcher of the afternoon. And leading off against him will be the third baseman, right-handed hitting Ray Knight. Wild one so far. Cubs were generous with the 5 runs that since he got in the fourth, only 1 was earned. Knight takes Donnie Moore's first pitch, a fastball for a strike. Knight today walked and scored in the 4th inning. Holtzman thought he had him struck out in the 2nd. There's a swing and a miss, lit up a little bit on that one. And on the next pitch after, what should have been a strikeout, he hit a fly ball deep enough to right field to drive in the first run of the day. 0-2. Wind continuing to blow out, raising some dust. Here's the windup. He swings and he misses for strike 3. Faced a fastball tailing down and away. That brings up the young pitcher, Mike Lacoste, who has grounded out and fanned. Donnie appearing in his 9th game, pitched in Sunday's wild one out here. That Sunday's earned run average up a bit. It's now at 4.15. Fastball, and Lacoste takes ball 1-2 low. Moore starts the windup. Here it is. Lacoste swings late and he misses. 1-1. Sunday, Donnie worked 2 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, walked a couple, 3 runs were scored against him. Fastball. Check swing by Lacoste. It's a little bit low, and he held up in time, apparently. Ball 2, strike 1. He had no decision in the ball game, but that stint sent his earned run average up from 2.45 to 4 plus. There's a strike call. That's 2-2. Temperature now has soared up to 84 degrees, and the wind has increased to 30 miles per hour. Still blowing out from the south. 2-2 delivery on its way. Swung on to miss for strike 3. 2 gone. Top of the batting order, that'll bring up Ken Griffey. Reached on Buckner's error and scored in the 4th inning on an error charged against Jerry Martin. He is 0 for 3 officially. Left-handed batter. Here's the windup. Morris Firstman takes a fastball for a strike away. Boy, Mother's Day right around the corner. Why don't you get Mom a gift certificate for some Cub games, huh? She'd really appreciate it. 0-1 pitch. Gets under it, files it back out of play. In fact, why don't you get several so she can invite the whole family, including you? Box seats, $6 each. Reserve, $4.50. General admission, $3. Bleacher gift certificates, $1.50. Simply make out a check or a money order to Chicago Cubs and mail it to the ticket office at Wrigley Field, 60613. Make sure you specify gift certificate. Here's a swing and a ground ball down to Montevers at third. Straightens up, fires. Griffey is out by a couple of steps. 3 up, 3 down. The Cubs come to bat in the 5th inning. It is still Cincy 7 and the Cubs 3.
In God's country, we value tradition. You see it everywhere, especially in our beer. Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that is still brewed the traditional Old World way, the way the great European beers have been brewed for centuries. Generations of brewmasters have passed down this brewing art that, to this day, is called cloisening. It's double brewing, pure brewing, and it's the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Right now, millions of gallons of Old Style are quietly resting in our cloisening cellars, aging ever so slowly the traditional way, the Old World way. No artificial carbonation, no modern shortcuts, just nature and time and skill. Heileman's Old Style, pure brewed in God's country, slowly and naturally. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
This Mother's Day, give Mom a gift that won't cramp her style. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest you give her the Gillette Supermax Swivel Hair Styler Dryer from True Value Hardware Stores. With it, Mom can achieve a variety of styles because she can use this versatile Supermax as a pistol dryer, or she can rotate the handle, attach the round brush, and use it as a convenient styler. The Gillette Supermax Swivel Dryer Styler features both 500 and 1,000 watt settings, and it's ideal for travel. Get it at participating True Value Hardware Stores.
Vince Lloyd back with you at Wrigley Field, and it's the top of the batting order for the Cubs. Ivan De Jesus stepping in. First pitch by Lacasse. A fastball by the youngster is in for a strike at the letters. He tried to sacrifice in the 3rd inning, popped it up to the pitcher, and it wound up a double play of all things. Checks his swing on that fastball, and it's a strike call. And Ivan upset with the call. Gets out of the batter's box, 0-2. He looked at strike 3. His first time up today. He's 0 for 2. Rangy right-hander on the hill. Here's the windup. Strike 2 pitch. Swung on, fouled it back into the net. Still 0-2. Got a group of Japanese broadcasters, a couple of booths over from us today in the press box. They are televising this game, and eventually it's going to be seen in Japan. Here's a swing and a ground ball. The shortstop, Concepcion, up with it, and the peg is in time. Short to first brings up Mercer. Singled, leading off the 4th inning, and scored the Cubs' first run of the day. 1 for 3, or 1 for 2. What they are doing is videotaping this game at our Channel 9 sister studios here in Chicago, and then they will airship it back to Tokyo. And the folks over there in Japan will see it, I suppose, in the next 48 hours. And tomorrow they are to move on to New York to do the same thing there. And as you well know, there's a ball outside. The Japanese love their baseball. Who knows, one day we may really have a World Series that will involve a team from Japan. Here's a swing, and he gets under a high, looks a high fly ball to the right fielder, Champ Summers. He's there, and he makes the catch. Wynn started to get a hold of it again at the last moment, but Champ stayed with it, caught it in right center. Well, Mercer is retired as he tried to crank one out of here. Buckner, the batter. Griffey made a fine running catch on his shot in the 4th inning, then he grounded out his first time at bat today. So Buck 0 for 2 this afternoon. Bases empty. Score, Cincy 7 and the Cubs 3. Cubs batting in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 away. Wind up by Lacasse. Swing at a high, pop up back a second. Morgan is there in the outfield grass, staying with it, backpedaling. He's got it. That's an easy inning. 3 up and 3 down at the end of 5. Still the Reds 7, Cubs 3.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
It's Susan Slava, Bob, and I need an emergency loan.
Oh, what happened, Susan?
A pipe burst in the basement, Bob. It was a regular flood.
Well, an emergency loan can help.
Oh, good, because we're really getting hungry.
Hungry?
Well, the water got in the pantry and washed off all the labels on the canned goods.
So now you can't eat.
Oh, we eat, but we discovered some strange combinations when we opened up the cans.
I see.
Like we served the in-laws chocolate syrup and bacon bits.
Well, I'm sure they understand.
Well, they did until breakfast when they got smoked oysters and sauerkraut.
We can rush that loan, Susan.
Oh, thanks, Bob. Hey, can I send you a can of asparagus spears?
No, that's,
Or is this cat food?
When you need financial assistance, General Finance has a plan to fit your needs.
It makes sense to call Bob Adams for their people-to-people service. General Finance has professional experience in the particular plan for your particular needs. 70 Chicago area offices, including McHenry. Borrow up to $10,000 for a large homeowner's loan.
Nobody else has got the taste of a Big Mac. Nobody has those famous fries that keep you coming back. Nobody serves you faster. Nobody can. You're the reason we do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Run out and get a Big Mac.
You would think with this kind of a wind blowing out at this comfy, cozy ballpark, 30 miles an hour of wind, we'd have a flock of homers. Not so. Not yet. We are going into the sixth inning, and Dave Concepcion is going to lead off. He's singled in the fourth, doubled in the third, has batted in 2 runs, and has scored 2 runs. Donnie Moore. There's one that's hit. That's gone. That's the first one of the day. Fastball lined out of the ballpark over the fence behind the left field bleachers. Davey Concepcion. 8-3, Cincy. I just had to talk about it, didn't I? That is the first home run hit off Donnie Moore this year. And it was well tagged. Here's Joe Morgan. He takes, and it's a ball a little bit low. Ball 1. Morgan has a single, has reached on a 2-base error. Fouled out. He's driven in 2 runs and scored 1. Takes that for a strike, 1-1. Wind up by Donnie, 1-1 pitch. Checks his swing. It's a ball outside at the knees to this veteran left-hander. Of their 8 runs, now 4 have been earned. 2-1 delivery. Swung out. He hits a hard shot backhanded by Buckner. Drops it, picks it up, throws to Moore. He's there covering in time for the out. Nice recovery on a blistering shot. That'll bring up George Foster. Got an infield hit, a high chopper over Olivares' head, picked up by DeJesus on the grass in the 3rd inning. He was walked intentionally in the 4th. So George Foster, 1 for 2 today. And be careful, Donnie. First pitch. Swung out and missed a good sinking fastball. Outfield, of course, is very deep for Mr. Foster. 0-1 delivery. He takes it. Just missed the inside corner above the knees. Ball 1, strike 1. Reds with 7 hits. The Cubs with 6. And Cincy leading 8-3. 1 out, bases empty. 1-1 delivery. Fastball just missed the outside corner at the knees. 2-1. The 3rd meeting this year between these two clubs. They split the 2-game series at Cincy last week. Wind up, 2-1 pitch, swung on, hits a ground ball left side, gets by Olivares, and DeJesus and Foster's on with a single. Olivares dove to his left, trying to knock it down. DeJesus scissoring over behind him, and it eluded him. It was hit so sharply. I feel like you've won the contest when Foster only gets a single off you. Here is Johnny Bench, who's walked and struck out twice. Walked and scored in the 3rd. Throw to first base, and Foster back in time. Boy, Kingman is deep for this guy. So is Martin. Big gap between Martin and Mercer, though. 0-1 pitch. Let's up on it, and it's a strike at the knees. Bench's stance slightly closed. Here's the pitch. He takes it, the ball low. Ball one, strike one. Johnny like him to hit that low pitch into the dirt right at one of those infielders for a double play. Foster takes his lead at first with one away. 1-1 delivery. And Bench takes the ball low and outside. 2-1 on him. Having struck out twice this afternoon, Bench is now fanned only 16 times for the year. Averaging one about every 5 trips. Here's the pitch. There is one that I thought was going to be called a strike, but apparently not. Blackwell thought it was too. He's having a few words with Riccio. That was a good fastball. Riccio must have thought it was inside. Miss Chicago parading in the aisles right now, drawing a few applauses. Back to the ball game. 3-1 pitch swung out. High bouncer on a Bears. Goes to second for one. Here's the relay. They got the double play. Right around the horn. Cubs 26th of the year. Lead-off homer by Concepcion in the 6th. The Cubs come to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Reds leading 8-3.
The gallant band of Olds. We make car buying a pleasure again.
If you've been waiting for just the right small car to come along, the waiting's over. Your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers are introducing the totally new 1980 Omega. It's the Oldsmobile of small cars with all the Oldsmobile engineering excellence you've come to expect, including front-wheel drive and Pearson spread suspension. Your gallant men offer Omega in 4 and 6-cylinder models and body styles to suit every taste. The practical Omega, the luxurious Omega Drome, and the sporty Omega SX. Small and maneuverable outside, surprisingly roomy inside. There's never been a small car like the Omega. Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer and test drive the totally new 1980 Omega.
The gallant band of Olds. We make car buying a pleasure again. The gallant band of Olds. We make car buying a pleasure again. The gallant band of Olds.
Salerno always has something good in store for you, like Salerno peanut butter patties. Delicious chocolatey covered peanut butter patties your family will love. Hey, and don't forget those mint cream patties. Oh, boy, they are so good. The Salerno bakers are always busy baking cookie goodness for you and your family. Treat your cookie munchers and yourself to some Salerno peanut butter or mint cream patties today. Salerno bakes them just for you and me. They are good. All right, let's get a few more Cub runs. We're going into the bottom of the 6th, and Dave Kingman, who walked and scored in the 4th, is leading off against Mike Lacasse. He's 0 for 1 officially. On the Bears, 2 for 2 in the on-deck circle. Big right-hander steps back to wind up in the pitch, and Kingman takes a perfect strike right down the middle. Whoa, man. Nothing in one on the big guy. 3 men on the left side of the infield for him. Wind up by Lacasse. That's a fastball to Sales too high. Ball 1, strike 1. Dave moving around in that batter's box. Now resets himself. And Lacasse gets a sign. Still looking, nods his head. Here's the windup and the pitch. Takes. It's a strike at the letters. 1-2. Let's pause. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago, 85 degrees.
Wind up in the pitch, and he goes after it, gets under it, and fouls it back onto the net. Ball 1, strike 2 on Dave. Cubs with 6 hits, the Reds with 8. But Cincy leads 8-5. And 1 home run has been hit here today. 1-2 pitch. Tried to get a little too much on that fastball and threw it into the dirt. Ball 2, strike 2. Mike Krukow is to go for the Cubs here tomorrow. Come on out and watch him. Here's Lacasse with the windup and Kingman. Swung and he missed. He went after a fastball up in his eyes for strike 3. Oh, I wish he'd gone after that first pitch. That was belt high right down the middle. Here's Steve Ontiveros with a single and a double. A run batted in and a run scored. Got his batting average way over 300. First pitch. Look up, tucked right in under his chin. They've done that with him every time. Ball 1. Vince Lloyd here with you at Wrigley Field. We'll be here tomorrow and Thursday. 1-0 delivery. It's a breaking ball, in too close, 2-0. Slider. Then we'll be at Houston over the weekend. Friday night, Saturday night twilight doubleheader. Single game Sunday afternoon at Houston. Then back here Tuesday. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, gets the foul ball out of play to the left side. And take on the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates at Wrigley Field starting next Tuesday, the 15th. Phillies here for 3 days, then the Pirates for 3 days. And, of course, with Pittsburgh here on Saturday, the 19th. That is a special day. Helmet Day. 2-1 delivery. Ontiveros looks at the ball outside. It's 3-1 on him. Fun in the sun on Saturday, May 19th, and a free gift. How are you going to beat that? Here it is, 3-1 delivery. Swung on, well hit drive. Deep left field, back goes Foster, back to the vines. Gets over his head, bounces low off the wall. Ontiveros coming around second, will hold with a double. Had Foster been able to get back there fast enough, he would have been able to catch it. It only hit about a foot off the lower end of the wall out there. So here is Ontiveros with his second straight double today and his third hit of the afternoon. Opposite field, two-bagger. Gives him 7 doubles this year. He leads the ball club in that department. Jerry Martin. Single past Morgan into right field in the second inning. That came with Ontiveros at first base. Then the runners went on a 3-2 pitch to Blackwell. Tim struck out. And Ontiveros was shot down at third for a double play. In the fourth inning, Martin got an infield hit and a run batted in. Brought in Kingman from third. Now Ontiveros at second base with the Reds leading 8-3. 1 out. Cubs batting in the 6th. Lacasse into the stretch, delivers, and Martin swings, and he gets under it and fouls it back out of play. Boy, would I love to see him get a hold of one right now. Willie Hernandez throwing again in the Cub bullpen. Dennis Lamp is out there, but he's just getting in some exercise. Dennis started the game last Saturday against Atlanta when he got his 3rd straight win. Here's Lacasse into the stretch, and the strike one delivery coming up. Jerry Martin swings and a line shot into center field, a base hit. Now Patano waving Ontiveros to the plate. The throw goes into second base. It is now 8-4 Cincinnati. Martin comes through with a soft line single to center. Tim Blackwell will be the batter. I mentioned a moment ago, struck out, that resulted in a double play. Then he walked in the 4th inning. Tim batting left-handed. We're going to get some action shortly in the Cincinnati bullpen. Pedro Borbon gets up and starts to warm up. And this heat won't take long. Blackwell swings and he misses. He chased a high one. Come on, Tim. 84 degrees is the 3 o'clock reading here. Summer has arrived in Chicago. Stick around, Saul. The stretch, the pitch. That's the ball outside. 1-1. Officially, Blackwell 3 for 8. He's in there, put with a bad leg. 1-0 delivery. That's the twist out of the way. Ball 2, strike 1. That was in too close. They have a little problem with the scoreboard. They haven't shown the strike on him. Welcome here today to Captain Joe Red Dawson, the park security. Captain Dawson, his 16th year here at the ballpark. 2-1 pitch, swung on, fouls it out of play, third base side. And it's a happy birthday for him. Number 52 for Captain Joe Dawson. Oh, I'd love to see the candles on that cake. Ball 2, strike 2. Come on, Tim, let's have a hit. 1 away, runner at first. Lacasse delivers. Blackwell swings, and he gets under it and fouls it out of play. Still in there, 2-2. Great to see him really lift one out of here, wouldn't it? Oh, you're a Cincinnati fan. Sorry. Ball, 2-strike, 2 pitch will be coming up momentarily. Here it is. And he takes it high, 3-2 now. He only had 387 at-bats in the majors prior to this year, and is still looking for his first Major League homer. 3-2 delivery. Blackwell swings, fly ball, left field. Foster coming on. He's there, makes the catch. Martin gets back to first base, 2 gone. Now it's up to Ted Sizemore. You know, on Helmet Day, May the 19th, and the Pirates are here. That'll be their first visit into Chicago. The first 15,000 youngsters, 13 and under, get that blue souvenir Cub-style helmet free. But the kids do need a fully paid ticket. The bleacher seats are not included. First pitch, Sizemore swings, and he lines one. Gets by Concepcion into center field. Martin will have to stop at second. Sizemore's on with a single. And let's see who's going to come out of the Cub dugout to bat. Runners at first and second with 2 away. The Cubs have out-hit the Reds 9-8, but the Reds are leading 8-4. Here is Mike Vail, who hit 2 home runs, each with a man on, out here Sunday against Atlanta. Stat sheet shows him 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter. He's batting for Donnie Moore. All right, Mike, nail it. Not going to have a chance immediately because Johnny McNamara is coming out to talk to Lacasse. When Johnny was hired as a successor to Sparky Anderson, one of the first moves he made was to try to get as one of his coaches, Joe Malpitano. Bob Kennedy, the Cubs general manager, and Herman Franks, the skipper, said, we don't even want you to talk to Joey. He's going to bring on the fresh arm, Pedro Bourbon. So Mike Lacasse is leaving here in the 6th inning with Cub runners at first and second, 2 out. The Reds leading 8-4. We have a delay. Let's take time out for this message.
Here's Paul Anka for McDonald's.
Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Nobody else in this whole land. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Everybody, he always knew it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Nobody else has got the taste of a Big Mac. Nobody has those famous fries coming back. Nobody serves you faster. Nobody can. You're the reason we do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Run out and get a Big Mac.
You know, Lou, I got a friend whose car is really old and worn out.
How worn out is it, Vince?
Well, his car is so worn out, every time he goes downtown to make a payment on it, he has to take a cab.
Well, better he should pay a visit to his Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer, raise a little ruckus with a brand new Cutlass.
Yeah, the Gallup men of Olds have a great lineup, from the sporty Cutlass Calais to the luxurious Cutlass Supreme Brome.
No pinch hitters needed there.
Stop in at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer.
Tell him Vince and Lou sent you.
Hard throwing Pedro Bourbon. Mike Vail takes, and the first one is a strike call at the letters of fastball. Pedro, 1 win this year, no losses. Earned to an average for the veteran of 2.74. Ball got away from the bullpen. His 12th appearance of the year. Ties him, the leadership in that department, with Dave Tomlin. 0-1 pitch. That's outside. Ball 1, strike 1. Pedro with a rubber arm. Struck out 10 men in 23 innings. Walked only 3. No homers offered. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Bale tried to hit the first one of the year off Bourbon with that cut. Ball one, strike two. Now the Bears doubled and scored. And he is 3 for 3 today. He was 4 for 5 Sunday. 1-2 pitch. There's the ball, way low and outside. His last time at bat Sunday against Atlanta, Steve doubled. The time before that, he had flied out. With his 3 hits here today now, he has 4 hits in his last 4 at bats. Runners at first and second, 2 out. 2-2 pitch. Bale takes it, ball too low, 3-2. Wouldn't get him, wouldn't go after that sinker. Bourbon looks down to get his sign from bench. Checks the runner. At second, delivers. There's a swing and a high pop-up. Morgan in the outfield grass, one carrying out to his right. Look out! He stays with it and he makes the catch in shallow right center field. Good job by Morgan and by Bourbon. In the 6th inning, 1 run for the Cubs. We move to the 7th at Wrigley Field. The Reds still leading 8-4.
When you need a reference book on hundreds of values for your lawn, garden, and home, refer to True Value Hardware Store's spring and summer catalog. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you that right on the front cover you'll find their Lawn Chief 20-inch rotary mower that's packed with features, like a powerful 3.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine with an easy pull starter, 5-position height adjusters, a fully baffled steel deck, and an anti-scalp disc. Yet it's priced at just $119.99. True Value Hardware Stores also offer their True Test 60-foot rubber vinyl garden hose for just $12.88. This all-purpose lawn and garden hose is double reinforced for added strength and flexible in all weather, so it coils easily for convenient storage. See these and hundreds of other values in the spring and summer catalog from participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers. And save gas. You won't have to drive far for your shopping and gift-giving needs. If you're looking for values, service, and selections, you'll find them nearby at any one of the more than 5,000 True Value Hardware Stores and home centers nationwide.
If running around is getting you down and you're not sure you're getting enough vitamins, see Vince and me. And you know you can get those Thorogram high-potency vitamins on sale now at Osco's. More physicians and pharmacists recommend Thorogram than any other multivitamin formula, and they're the vitamins selected by the United States Olympic Committee. Now don't guess. Get Thorogram or Thorogram M, 100 plus 30 tablets. Osco sale priced at only $4.99. But hurry in, sale ends today.
Willie Hernandez, 4th Cub pitcher of the afternoon. And he'll be facing Arturo De Freitas, who doubled in the 2nd inning off Kenny Holtzman, grounded out in the 3rd, had an infield shot off the bare hand of Kenny, sent him to the showers in the 4th inning. Got credit for a pair of runs batted in. Fouls the first pitch back for a strike. Call right-hander. They're looking at Hernandez for the 2nd time this season. Pitched briefly against him over there last week. Swines, the left-hander's fastball, swung out and missed. Strike 2. They may know well another pretty well from Winter League ball. Willie faced 2 men, got both of them out. Some boos because a customer in shorts down here and an Andy Frame usher struggling to see who's going to get the ball that was trapped in the screen behind home plate. 0-2 pitch. Finally dropped on the other side of it, on the infield side. Ball 1, strike 2, but they don't allow him up there on the coping of that rail. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, he fouled it off his own body, wound up in the mitt of Blackwell. Don't allow him to stand up there and struggle to pry a ball through those openings in the screen. Very dangerous. The ball could come sharply off a bat, hit a guy's fingers, just nip him right off, catch the fingers with that baseball between the wire. It could really get hurt. 8-4 score, Cincy leading. Willie Hernandez winds. Here's the pitch. Swung on, got a piece of that one that was up at his eyes and fouled it. The last time there was an earned run scored off Hernandez when he came on in relief was in the opening game of the season against the Mets. Then in 6 games since then, has not allowed an earned run. Misses with that pitch, 2-2. It's about 7 or 8 innings since then. He can be effective. Still a young man. 3 saves last year, won 8 games, lost only 2. Now we're ready. 2-2 pitch, swung on. Breaking ball in on him, and he ripped a foul that goes into the seats past the Cub dugout. Ball 2, strike 2. De Freitas replacing Dreesen at first base. Dreesen out with a strained muscle, I believe, in the knee. 2-2 delivery. That's a ball too high. 3-2 now. De Freitas, 2 for 3 today and 4 for 12 for the year. But he showed in the minors he's got power. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He got him. Good fastball. That brings up Champ Summers, who's replacing Geronimo in the outfield. Champ today has walked, been hit by a pitch, and his only official trip up today, Burris, came on in the 4th inning and got him on a fly ball to left to retire the side. He goes after the first one, a drive into center field. Martin went back. Now he stops. At the leap at the last moment as the wind started to carry it over his head, and he made a one-handed grab. Hard hit liner, straightaway center, 2 out, bases empty, and here's Ray Knight. There's no relaxing for an outfielder today on any ball hit out there, or for that matter, for infielders on high pop-ups. All of a sudden, that wind can start to gust, and you got problems. Knight, a right-handed hitter. Willie Wines, a southpaw's first one, is a strike over the inside corner above the knees. Warmed up to 84 degrees. Here's the wind-up, the pitch. Breaking ball low, 1-1. Sacred Heart Alder Boys from Dubuque, Iowa. 7 of their chaperones and their director, Father Runder, taking in the action today. Most of the action has been supplied, we're sorry, by the Reds. They lead 8-4. We're in the 7th inning. 2 out, nobody on. Hernandez is ready. Wines, here it is. Swung on and missed. Went right over him. Ball 1, strike 2. Willie about 6'2", 180. Steps back, starts the windup. Knight swings on a let-up, chops it down to Monteveres. He's got it, takes a step, pegs. Side is retired. Hey, that ball started to sail. Buckler made a 2-headed catch over his head. Time for the 7th inning stretch at beautiful Wrigley Field. The Cubs come to bat with the Reds leading 8-4.
Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy give stellar performances in D.L. Coburn's Pulitzer Prize-winning comedy, The Gin Game, directed by Mike Nichols. Richard Eder, the New York Times, says the performances and direction are mesmerizing. And Brendan Gill, the New Yorker, thinks Jessica Tandy and Hume Cronin are among the most gifted actors alive. Pat Collins, CBS TV, calls The Gin Game a perfect hand played with exquisite skill. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 10. And finally, the Gannett newspapers sum it all up by exclaiming, a masterpiece, an urgently necessary play for the old, for the young, for all of us. Don't miss this rare opportunity to experience a remarkable theatrical triumph. See The Gin Game, starring Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy.
The Gin Game, coming to the Blackstone Theater May 15th through June 10th. Tickets at the Blackstone box office. All Ticketron outlets. And for telecharge, call 977-1700. That's 977-1700.
Miss Gloria Gaynor for McDonald's.
Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Nobody else in this whole land. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Everybody else do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. You're the reason we do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can.
Fans still on their feet. Let me tell you, on a hot day like this, it's comfortable to stand up. Get the creases out of your trousers. Waukegan Healthcare Center, a big group sitting behind home plate today. Summer has arrived, mid-80s at the ballpark, and Ivan De Jesus stepping in. New right-hander on the hill. Geronimo goes into play center with Griffey moving into right. Doug Bear, a hard-throwing right-hander on the hill. Here's the pitch. And Ivan takes the ball. First one was a strike to him. Boy, Bear has really been superb for him. Done an outstanding job. Hasn't given up a run. The last 8 games he's been in. Picked up 4 saves and 2 wins. Hard thrower. Good sinker. Ball 1, strike 1. On Ivan de Jesus, here's the pitch. Checks his swing, and it's a strike call. Inside corner above the knees. 1-2 on Ivan. Tried to sacrifice and bunted into a double play in the third. He's 0 for 3 today. 1-2 delivery. And the ball into close, breaking ball. Ball 2, strike 2. McNamara has saved this guy just for this spot. 7th inning, wind up 2-2 pitch. A ball low and inside, 3-2. But with 9 outs left, the wind blowing out. 4 runs, Cincinnati lead. That's not too much to overcome. 3-2 delivery. He takes ball 4. Bear had been out in front of him, 1-2. Winds up walking him. To lead off the 7th, that's a good omen. Let's see if the Cubs can take advantage. Bobby Mercer, the batter. Wind up the first pitch, or stretching the pitch, and he takes a strike at the letters. Bobby singled leading off the 4th and scored. He's 1 for 3 today. Maintaining an average of just over 270. Let's see if he can tack on a few more points. Time call. Mercer gets out of the batter's box. Cubs made a couple of costly errors today. Now the stretch by the big right-hander. Here's the pitch, and Mercer takes the ball. It's low. Gets away from bench momentarily, but De Jesus is not going to gamble. Ball 1, strike 1. In the on-deck circle, Bill Buckner. Now Bear is ready. Here's the kick, the pitch, and there's the ball outside. Ball 2, strike 1. Freitas on at first base. First baseman holding De Jesus on. Morgan, Concepcion at second and short. Not at third. Here's the kick, the pitch. Swung on. Well, it's right. Deep left center field. That baby is on. Home run. Bobby Mercer has just walloped one, just missing the tarp that covers the seats in center field. De Jesus trotting around in front of him. Mercer getting a standing ovation. He turns the lead. It is now Cincy 8 and the Cubs 6. Nice going, Bobby. Well, we had mentioned that Bear had that string in which he had not allowed a run. They want us to ring the bell. What a shot. Deep to left center field, and that's not where he normally has been hitting them, Lou.
No, but Bear's fastball, he hit all of it. Wind or no wind, carry it high up in that stand. Only 2 runs down now.
First homer hit off of Bear this year. And Buckner steps in. 8-6 score. First pitch of ball to Billy Buck. Wind up in the delivery. He takes it. It's a strike at the knees. Buckner looking for his first hit of the day. Lined one, which the then center fielder Griffey made a fine running catch. 1-1 pitch, here it is. Gets under it, hits a high fly ball. Griffey coming over into right center, reaches out, he does not make the catch. The ball gets by him and Geronimo. Here's Buckner rounding second, go to third, and he'll be held at third base. Griffey, who's moved into right field, chased all the way into right center. He couldn't quite make it. Geronimo had come over. They were playing Buckner. This wing very, very late on the ball. Well, it's a 3-bagger. And here is Dave Kingman. If he gets a hold of one, the ball game is tied. Walk, a homer, and a triple. There's first pitch, a swing and a miss. Well, he tried to tie it with that cut, and he'll take at least one more like it. 8-6 Reds from the stretch. Nobody out. There, resets himself, looks down the bench for a sign. Right-hander is ready. Here's the pitch. He takes it high. Ball one, strike one. Shift is on for him. 3 men on the left side of the infield, and the outfield exceptionally deep and way, way around to the left. Ball one, strike one pitch. Here it is. He takes it. The ball outside. Ball two, strike one. Bobby Mercer's fourth home run of the year has got the Cubs within striking distance. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a ground ball. Near second. Morgan has it. Buckner has to hold. Sidearm throw to first base. Kingman is out. And Steve Olivares is going to be the batter. Now they get 2 outs on that scoreboard. Tough enough scoring runs. Johnny Bench sees that, and he turns around, checks with the umpire, and he says, yeah, there's only 1 out. Now they correct the scoreboard. Olivares. Base hit his last time up Sunday. 3 hits so far to here today, including a couple of doubles. First pitch. Takes the ball too high. Started the day hitting .309. That's a single, 2 doubles, run batted in, and 2 runs scored. There from the stretch, Olivares takes. There's a strike over the outside corner. It's 1-1 on him. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
There with an off-speed pitch misses. Outside, ball 2, strike 1. Olivares now hitting .333 for the year. Put on a few more points. There again, steps off the pitching rubber. Olivares gets out of the batter's box. Fans chanting, we want a hit. Guarantee you Olivares wants one. Buckner at third with 1 away. There's 2-1 pitch. Swung on. Hard one hopper to Morgan. Buckner coming to the plate. No play on him. 2 gone as Olivares is retired for the first time today, but he gets credit for batting in his second run of the afternoon, and the Cubs are within 1 run. It's now 8-7 Cincinnati, and Martin the hitter. All right, Jerry. Nail it. He nails one. It's all tied up. So far today, Martin with 3 singles. A couple of runs batted in. First pitch. Swung on, pops it. Foul over beyond the Cub dugout, right over it. One customer scrambled for it and blew it. The Reds are surprised to see the new Cub dugouts this year. They didn't know about them. From about 35 feet, they're now 70 feet long. Here's the windup. Strike 1 delivery, and Martin the swing and a drive down the left field line. It's going to be in there for extra bases. Martin rounding first on his way to second. Foster had trouble digging the ball out. Now he retrieves it, and it's a double for Martin, who's on with the tying run and 2 out. And stepping into the batter's box now for the Chicago Cubs will be Tim Blackwell. So Martin is 4 for 4. Come on, Tim. Let's get that tying run in. First pitch, and he takes. It's off the middle bench. Gets behind him to the backstop. Martin will advance to third. Guess it'll be a fastball. Bench tried to box that ball. Slapped at it, back-ended it, and he's charged with a fastball. Tim 0 for 2 officially. Runner at third with 2 gone. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Just missed it away. Bench questioning that call. And Bear snaps the glove at the ball as Bench returns it to him. He's upset at that call by Dennis Riccio. A base hit, an error, a wild pitch. High at 2-0 delivery. There's a strike call over the outside corner. It's 2-1. Tim is fanned, flied out to left. In between, he walked. Comes now with a dozen hits for the day. 2-1 delivery. Got a piece of it, fouled it. Comes back up out of the screen. Ball 2, strike 2. Bears earned run average starting today 2.25. Allowed only 3 runs in 12 1/3 innings and hadn't been scored upon. I stayed outage. There's the ball. Ball 3, strike 2. But he walked to Jesus to lead off the 7th, and Mercer, a 2-run homer. And a triple, couple of ground outs, and a double, man at third. 3-2 delivery. Here it is. Checks his swing. The breaking ball misses low. Ball 4. Blackwell trots down to first, and Ted Sizemore steps in. Bear is really upset, Lou, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I think it's very noticeable. And now, Sizemore, who's hit the ball well on all 3 occasions at the plate, gets a chance to tie this game up or put the Cubs out in front. Cubs fighting back. It was 7-0 as the Cubs came to bat in the 4th inning, and it was 7-3. Cubs now have fought back to an 8-7 ball game.
Normally their top reliever. Runners at first and third. Sizemore had gone back into the shade of the dugout while that conference was going on, and Larry Bittner is now out there in the on-deck circle, limbering up to pinch hit against Bear. So he's going to bat for Sizemore here in the 7th inning. We show Bittner as a pinch hitter, 2 for 7, with 2 runs batted in. The only action he's seen this year as a pinch hitter. Cubs have come up with 3 runs off Bear in this inning. 2 out, here's the pitch. He takes, sits a fastball outside, ball 1 to the left-hander. Tying run, Jerry Martin at third. Martin is now hitting .284. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Ooh, what a rip. 1-1. He's gone from .243 today to .284. Martin is. 4 hits. What he really wants right now is to step on home plate with a tying run. 2 out. There's 1-1 pitch. The swing and a miss. That's right over. Breaking ball. Ball 1, strike 2. He has a good slider. You can challenge it. Dennis Riccio stepped out to dust off the plate. Come on, Larry. Left-handed pinch hitter for Sizemore. In the 7th inning, 8-7 Cincy. Now the stretch, 1-2 pitch. Takes it high. Ball 2, strike 2. Dave Concepcion has hit the Reds' only homer today, and Bobby Mercer has hit the only one for the Cubs. 2 out, 2 on, 2-2 pitch. Gets under it, hits a high pop foul, third base side. Don't blow it back in, wind. Stay there. It does. Even though we've had a wind blowing out today, especially at 30 miles per hour, it's cut down now, they say, to 29 miles an hour. And let me tell you, that's still an awful strong breeze. But credit these pitchers with some pretty effective work. Bittner back in. 2-2 pitch on its way. Hey, got him. He swung and missed on a breaking pitch. And Bear retires him for the Cubs in the 7th inning. They have to settle for 3 runs, and at the end of 7, it's the Reds 8, the Cubs 7.
An entire season must pass before an apple ripens naturally. It can't be hurried. The brewing of Old Style can't be hurried either, because Old Style is fully croissant, slowly and naturally, with no shortcuts. It's pure brewing, double brewing, the traditional old world way, the way the great European beers have been brewed for centuries. Right now, millions of gallons of Old Style are resting in our Kreuzening cellars, aging ever so slowly. Of course, this natural double brewing process takes more time and is more expensive, and maybe that's why Old Style is one American premium beer that is still fully Kreuzened, naturally carbonated. Heileman's Old Style, pure brewed in God's country, slowly and naturally. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Wilson Sporting Goods now brings you shock absorbent running shoes for men and women. Running shoes rated high for shock absorption, plus comfort in 7 stylish models. Wilson shoes built on American last to fit the American foot for comfort. The midsole and outer sole composition dissipates the shock of constant contact with the running surface. Wilson running shoes, the shock-absorbent shoes that don't shock your wallet. Wilson by Beta Athletic Footwear is available at McDade's Athlete Foot and Grand Sports in Waukegan.
Well, a customer's getting their money's worth again. Leading off will be Cesar Geronimo, batting for the first time today, hitting in the 9th spot in the batting order. He'd come on for defensive purposes. Just giving the attendance out here today, 12,254 paid. The Cubs at about the 190,000 mark for the year. Geronimo having trouble with the plate this year, and the left-hander takes the first pitch of strike. Hitting only 196 with 18 hits and 7 runs batted in. Wind up in the delivery, swung on a high foul down the left field line. Kingman giving chase. He crosses the foul line, and he can't quite make the catch. The ball drops into the box seats out past the Cub bullpen crew. But unlike Spikes, who never moved a muscle, out here Sunday, and the shot off of Blackwell's bat that appeared to be going foul. Kingman took off after this one, thinking maybe the wind was going to bring it back in. It darn near did. Sunday, of course, it resulted in a triple and eventually the winning run. Strike 2 count on the left-handed hitting Geronimo. Hernandez fires. Waste run high and tight, 1-2. Ball game in the 8th inning here at Wrigley Field. Cubs battling back. 1-2 pitch. A step on it, a swing, and a miss right over it for strike 3. Willie has faced 4 men, retired all 4, fanned 2 of them, and here's Griffey, another left-hander. Reached in an error in the 4th and scored. Right now, Dave Concepcion's leadoff homer in the 6th inning off Donnie Moore is the difference in this ballgame. Kenny Holtzman left today. He took a real hard line drive off his pitching hand in the 4th inning. Willie's first one, and Griffey takes it high. Ball 1. No report on the injury. That was the 9th man to face Kenny in that inning. 1-0 pitch. Checks the swing, and it's a ball low and inside, 2-0 on Griffey. But he did not pitch badly today. There were 2 errors by the Cubs in that inning that were costly. They got 5 runs, and only one of them was earned. Here's the windup. 2-0 pitch. Griffey takes the fastball a little high. 3-0 on him. And he's having trouble finding the strike zone on this left-handed leadoff man in their batting order, Ken Griffey. He has great speed. 0 for 4 officially today. 3-0 delivery. He's taking all the way, and it's a strike. A fastball. Ron Plaza coaching at third gives him a sign. He may be allowed to go after 3-1. Here it is. He does. Ground ball to Steve Dillard, who's come in at second, picks it up, fires to Buckner. Griffey is out of there, 2 away. And I think I neglected to tell you that Dillard, after Sizemore was lifted for Bittner as a pinch hitter, Dillard has replaced him at second. And Dave Concepcion, who has, he lined out to center field, then he doubled, singled, and hit a homer. He's driven in 3 runs, and he's scored 3 runs. So he's been a terror offensively today. Wind up in the pitch. Davey takes. It's a strike at the letters to the veteran right-hander. Finds that front foot, the left one, very near the plate. Draws the back foot back. Bringing the bat almost from the knob. Hernandez winds, and Concepcion goes after them, and it sinks a little low, 1-1 on him. Remember now, the early birds get the helmets out here Saturday, May 19th. The Cubs and the Pirates. Free souvenir helmet that looks just like the Cub helmets that they wear. 1-1 pitch. That's a ball, though. You do need a fully paid ticket. The bleacher seats are not included, so once you plan to be out here, and hey, bring Mom and Dad along, too. Have a lot of fun, a lot of excitement at Wrigley Field. And Helmet Day, the Cubs and the Pirates, Saturday, May 19th. 2-1 delivery. Davey swings, high fly ball, right field, coming in hard, Burser, still on the run. Hey, he's got it. Nice running catch. As he had to come in like a sprinter. Side is retired in order. The Cubs come to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cincinnati 8, the Cubs 7.
When you need a reference book on hundreds of values for your lawn, garden, and home, refer to True Value Hardware Store's spring and summer catalog. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you that right on the front cover you'll find their Lawn Chief 20-inch rotary mower that's packed with features, like a powerful 3.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine with an easy pull starter, 5-position height adjusters, a fully baffled steel deck, and an anti-scalp disc. Yet it's priced at just $119.99. True Value Hardware Stores also offer their True Test 60-foot rubber vinyl garden hose for just $12.88. This all-purpose lawn and garden hose is double reinforced for added strength and flexible in all weather, so it coils easily for convenient storage. See these and hundreds of other values in the spring and summer catalog from participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers. And save gas. You won't have to drive far for your shopping and gift-giving needs. If you're looking for values, service, and selections, you'll find them nearby at any one of the more than 5,000 True Value Hardware Stores and home centers nationwide.
Say, do you need help planning menus? Well, get it from A&P. You'll find everything you need for a variety of meals that will please your family and your budget. Main course meats, fresh fruits and vegetables, desserts to make your mouth water. Come to A&P for savings on matching meal makers all over the store. Get U.S. government-inspected whole fryer legs, just 69 cents a pound. Wilson's Corn King sliced bacon, a 1-pound vacuum pack package for only 99 cents. In California, navel oranges, 39 cents a pound through Wednesday. Available at all Chicagoland A&P stores.
Gene Klein's pinch hitting for Hernandez. First pitch by Bear. Gene takes the ball in too close. He is 1 for 8 as a pinch hitter. He is the third pinch hitter Herman has used today. First 2 popped up and struck out. Let's see if we can get some production out of this veteran. He takes and it's a strike. Ball 1, strike 1 on Gene. That Bear winds, the right-hander's pitch. Swung on, and a drive into left field for a base hit. Attaboy. That's the tying run on. Leading off the 8th inning, Klein's a line single to left. And DeJesus, the hitter. Just a moment here, got to talk about an old friend of ours and a great, great athlete, one of the legendary handball players of our time, Phil Collins. Congratulations to him. He was named winner of the first annual Golden Glove Award for outstanding performance and meritorious service to the game of handball. Phil Collins. Singled out as the original honoree. Jesus going to bunt, pushes one to the first base side. Left by Bear, has only 1 throw. Morgan covering at first, and the sacrifice. Klein's at second. with one out. That's the tying run, and Bobby Mercer, the batter. Singled and scored in the fourth and got his fourth home run of the year with a man out of the seventh inning, and he's getting a standing ovation from this crowd of more than 12,000.
He may have to face Tomlin as McNamara is coming out to the mound and walking very briskly.
I don't think it makes that much difference to Mercer, Lou, whether Tomlin the lefty or Bear the right-hander. One final note here on Collins as Bear leaves. Collins singled out for that handball honor on the basis of his 17 national championships spanning nearly 3 decades. He's also given an awful lot of his time to the promotion of that great game. So, left-hander Dave Tomlin walking in at Wrigley Field in the 8th inning. Got a delay. We'll be back right after this.
Here's Polanco for McDonald's.
Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Nobody else in this whole land. Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Everybody always knew it. Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Nobody else has got the taste of a Big Mac. Nobody has those famous fries coming back. Nobody serves you back. Nobody can. You're the reason we do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Run out and get a Big Mac.
You know, Lou, I got a friend whose car is really old and worn out.
How worn out is it, then?
Well, his car is so worn out, every time he goes downtown to make a payment on it, he has to take a cab.
Well, better he should pay a visit to his Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer, raise a little ruckus with a brand new Cutlass.
Yeah, the Gallup men of Olds have a great lineup, from the sporty Cutlass Calais to the luxurious Cutlass Supreme Brome.
No pinch hitters needed there.
Stop in at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer.
Tell him Vince and Lou sent you.
Oh, Dave Tomlin has finished his warm-up tosses, and here's Bobby Mercer. 2-run homer off Bear here in the 7th. Homer here Saturday with a man on. He has hit 4 homers. 3 of them, there's been 1 man on, and the other one, there've been 2 men on. Now we got the tying run at second base with 1 out. Tomlin's first pitch. He takes it, the ball outside. Tomlin's worked 12 innings. Earned run average, 3.75. No saves, no wins, 1 loss. Lefty kicks, here it is. Swung on. He's out in front. He rips a vicious line foul down the right field side. He was just out in front of it a fraction of a second. But that one would have gone for extra bases. 1-1. I was talking about Phil Collins a moment ago. His dad. Fidgety Phil Collins, they called him. Pitched in the major leagues, among other teams, for the Cubs and the Cardinals and the Phillies. Tying run, Klein's at second. Tomlin checks him. Here's the pitch. Mercer takes in at the ball, just missing outside, and boy, is Tomlin hot at the umpire. He thought that should have been a strike. Comes a few steps off the mound, barks at him, bench is talking to Riccio. Tomlin is really upset. Kenny Holtzman thought he was really hurt when he was pitching out there today. Thought he should have had a couple of strikeouts. Right after one of them, there was a sacrifice fly. Right after the other one, a base hit. They hurt him. Now Tomlin is really incensed. So Riccio has not drawn plaudits from pitchers or batters today. 2-1 delivery. Mercer takes, and there's a ball. It's outside of the letters. And Tomlin is still hot. He's still fuming about the last one. Mercer today, a single and a 2-run homer. Lyons carries the tying run at second base with 1 out in the 8th inning. Tomlin looks, delivers, Mercer swings, gets under it, lets a high foul third base side. There may be a play in the ball. And it is carried just over Ray Knight's head behind him. He had come over to the Cub dugout. And all of a sudden, that wind blowing out towards left in center field carried it right out of his reach. It was playable. What he really did was just overrun it. All right, Bobby, take advantage of that one. Ball 3, strike 2. That wind is murderous. Flags whipped straight out. Tall southpaw ready. Kicks, here it is, Mercer. Swings, gets under it, fouls this time back up under the screen. Ball 3, strike 2 is still the count. Cincinnati, 8 runs, 8 hits. The Cubs, 7 runs, 13 hits. Each team with only 1 home run so far today. Concepcion, a solo shot for them. And Mercer with 1 on for the Cubs. And Dave Tomlin looking for the out. 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. He hits it down to the first baseman. De Freitas fumbles it, picks it up in the air in front of him, steps on the bag for out number 2. Kleins advances to third. De Freitas fumbled it momentarily, but he was lucky because the ball stayed right in front of him. He got it off his own body and scrambled back to the bag for the unassisted putout. Now it's up to Buckner. After Mercer's 2-run homer in the 7th, Buck hit a drive deep right center field. Couldn't be handled by Griffey and Geronimo. Went for a triple, and he scored when Olivares grounded out. There's a swing. Fly ball, left center field. Geronimo's there. To the warning track. Reaches up. He hauls it in. And the Cubs are retired in the 8th inning. Going into the 9th, it's still the Reds 8, the Cubs 7.
Miss Gloria Gaynor for McDonald's.
Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Nobody else in this homeland. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Nobody else in this whole land. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Everybody always do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Nobody else has the taste of a Big Mac. Nobody has those famous fries that keep you coming back. Nobody serves you faster. Nobody can. You're the reason we do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. Yeah.
College tuition, debt consolidation, unexpected major medical expenses. These are big money needs, and a General Finance homeowner's loan can be the big money answer. You see, General Finance is able to offer you up to $10,000 on an equity of your home, up to $10,000 without disturbing your first mortgage. So if you're faced with big money needs, a General Finance homeowner's loan can be your big money answer. Find out today with a call to one of the 70 General Finance offices serving the Chicago area.
The new Cub pitcher, Glenn McLaughlin, making his first appearance against Cincinnati this year. But no decision. And that wild one Sunday against Atlanta, when he worked 2 1/3 innings, was touched for a couple of runs. He left in the 9th inning, you'll recall, with 1 man on. 1 run had scored, and that man that was on tallied. That proved to be the tying run of the ball game, but the last one for Atlanta. Suter came on, finished up after giving up that single to let that man score. He got the side out then. Our congratulations to Tab Bennett. Tab is former football player at the U of I, now the sports information director, and has been for quite a while, the staff. And he had an excellent media get-together downtown Chicago yesterday. That football coach, Gary Muller, basketball coach, Lou Henson. Here's the pitch. And Morgan takes a strike, a fastball. The women's athletic director, the University of Illinois, Carol Kars, various other members of the U of I athletic department were on hand. Lynn's next pitch, a breaking ball, low and inside. Ball 1, strike 1 on little Joe Morgan. Nice affair. Morgan 1 hit so far today. He takes, there's a strike over the outside corner, 1-2 on him. Muffin has 1 save this year, 3 wins, 2 losses. 1-2 delivery. Fastball, half swing, and a foul ball out of play, third base side. Still 1-2. Morgan starting the day, hitting .322. He's 1 for 4 with 2 runs batted in today. 1-2 delivery. Swung out and a line shot into right field. Breaking ball. Had a single to open up the ninth. And remember, this guy has stolen 8 bases this year and has yet to be caught. The batter, George Foster. 2 singles so far today. Walked intentionally. He's 2 for 3. And he started the afternoon hitting only .343 and leading the National League in runs batted in with 25. Cincy, 8, the Cubs 7. 9th inning with nobody out. Flopping in the stretch. Right-hander's pitch to Foster. It's a twist out of the way of a slow breaking ball. Ball 1. Glenn has started and relieved this year. First 4 games he was in, all in a starting role. Now his 4th relief appearance. Here's the stretch. Steps off the rubber. Morgan had a pretty good lead. Walks back near first base. Now again extends his lead. Foster pawing at that dirt in the batter's box. And again, he stepped out just as he started to get in there. He thought he might have had a speck of dust or something in his eyes. Now time has called Morgan walking down to foul territory over there. Let's take a moment now for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago. It's 4:29 in Chicago, and it's 84 degrees.
Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. Morgan goes. He got a good jump. That's what he was talking about. Foster going after the pitch. And he's in there with his 9th stolen base this year. And has yet to be caught. So from Tim Blackwell. Now Dan Dreesen. A slight injury last week. And has been out of action for the doubleheader Sunday. Is going to pinch hit. And Herman Frank's coming out of the dugout. Dreesen, of course, a left-hander. He's batting in the spot where Arturo De Freitas, first baseman, would be. Oh, Herman having a little conference out of the hill. He has nobody throwing in the bullpen. The score, Cincinnati 8 and the Cubs 7. Just want to decide what they're going to do with Dreesen. The pitcher is due to bat after this guy. They made a double change, took Summers out of the lineup, put Geronimo into play center field and moved Griffey to right, brought the pitcher in, and he's hitting in that spot of the batting order where Champ Summers was. 7th spot. So Dreesen took over the first base job when they traded Tony Perez to Montreal. Is going to be put out intentionally. That's what Herman went out there to talk to him about. Not going to take any chances with him. Now let's see after him, but we might get another one. Pinch hitter. Junior Kennedy walking around in their dugout with a batting helmet on. There's ball 4, and Dreesen, and the bat to the bat boy. They also, have just signed Paul Blair. And Blair is going in now to run for Dreesen at first base. Well, he's been around a while. He's still got pretty good wheels. His first appearance in Chicago in the National League. How do you longtime White Sox fans remember Paul Blair? Because about 8 or 9 years ago, he hit 3 home runs in one ball game against the Sox. Now Collins is going to be summoned as the pinch hitter for the pitcher. With runners at first and third. The managerial wheels spin again. Collins is switch hitter, and as a left-handed batter, he's 3 for 6 this year. with a run batted in. That means at the lefty, he's batting only .500. Not perfect.
McNamara wants to get another run or two in. He's not
Don't
sure of
blame
that
him.
one-run lead.
Don't blame him at all. Two guys with good wheels on the bases. Morgan at third. Paul Blair, the pinch runner, at first. Dillard been out of the mound talking with McLaughlin. Now Blackwell's going to join him. Even though the Cubs have out-hit the Reds 13-9, and each team with only one homer, the Reds are maintaining an 8-7 lead, and we are now in the ninth inning at Wrigley Field with 2 out. Len McLaughlin, Cubs' 5th pitcher of the day. Let's see if he can handle Collins. Switch hitter. Handles that bat pretty well. Here's a stretch by Len, and he tries to bunt. He gets under the fastball and pops it foul back out of play. Collins, a native of Rapid City, South Dakota, up there in that beautiful Black Hills country. Actually, he's home in the off-season in California now. They got him from the Seattle Mariners a couple of years ago. Quite a pinch hitter for him. His first year with him last year. 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball into the dirt. Appeared in 77 games for the Reds last year, or 74 games, as a pinch hitter. Second best in Reds history, Jerry Lynch. The only guy that leads him in that department. 1-1 pitch. Slashes a line foul down the third base line. Late on the fastball. He had 14 pinch hits last year. He's been clocked in the 100-yard dash at 9.6. Well, he's got the speed also. As do the guys on base, Morgan and Paul Blair. Collins asked for time. Len was taking too long for the hitter. Now he steps back in. McLaughlin ready. 1-2 delivery. That's very high with curveball. 2-2. McLaughlin trying to keep him from increasing the lead here in the ninth. With 2 on, 2 out, and a count of 2-2 on the hitter. The stretch, the pitch. Breaking ball, it's high. Ball 3, strike 2. That one didn't break much. Some of the crowd booing. Dave Collins, the batter. Blair, of course, will be going. Buckner is not holding him on. Here he goes. 3-2 pitch, a swing, and he rips a foul right back on the line of the plate in third. And Blair turns and hustles back. Blair was cut loose this year by the Yankees. Been with them after many great seasons with Baltimore. At the last 2 years in the Yankee organization with them. 3-2 pitch, Blair goes. He takes ball 4 high and outside to load him up. And here is Ray Knight. Kenny Holtzman thought he had Knight struck out back in the second inning when the bases were loaded. But he didn't get the call. And right after that, Knight hit one deep enough to right field for a sacrifice fly, the first run of the day. Right-hander takes. There's a strike. He walked and scored. His fan grounded out to third. 2 out. Bases jammed in the ninth inning. Cincy leading 8-7. McLaughlin from the windup. Goes after a rising fastball. Hits a high foul. Buckner giving chase on the first base side. It's way back. Out of play. Knight, the 8th man of the batting order. Having the ninth spot now is Geronimo. We see him in the batter's box today. I hope it'll be the 10th inning if we have to have extra innings. Len wide. Strike 2 delivered. Dampy with it. Ground ball to Aces to his left. He's got it. Throws to Dillard. Force out. The side's retired. Nobody scores for the Reds in the ninth. The Cubs come to bat. It's still Cincy 8 to the Cubs 7.
The gallant band of Olds. We make card buying a pleasure again. From the very first moment we greet you, we're gonna do our honest best. The gallant band of Olds. Understanding is the name of the game. We want to see you here again and again, so we're gonna treat you right. The gallant band of Olds. We make car buying a pleasure again. The gallant band of Olds. Ask some questions, get a plain talking deal. Take your time deciding. We want you to feel right at home at Oldsmobile. The gallant band of Olds. We make car buying a pleasure again. The gallant band of Olds. We make car buying a pleasure again. The gallant band of Olds.
An entire season must pass before an apple ripens naturally. It can't be hurried. The brewing of Old Style can't be hurried either, because Old Style is fully krausened, slowly and naturally. Krausening is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Heileman's Old Style, pure brewed in God's country, slowly and naturally. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Collins stays into play, first base. And the new pitcher, the young right-hander, Frank Pastore, made this ball club in spring training. Dave Kingman is going to lead off the ninth inning in a one-run ball game. Morgan holding his hands high. He's trying to get some attention out there. He wants Collins to move from away from that first base foul line. He finally got him. Wants him to move a few more steps. Morgan on the shortstop side of the infield. Now we're ready to pitch. Gets under it, hits a high pop-up, and Collins trying to get under it. He stumbles and falls, but Morgan is there. Turns his back to the infield and makes it over the shoulder, two-handed catch. Boy, it didn't take him long to recover Morgan, did it, Lou?
No, Morgan is the veteran. He takes charge of this ball club now. Handles most everything defensively.
Steve Ontiveros. Single, 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in, 2 runs scored. 3 for 4 today. 4 for 5 here Sunday. And on a streak. Takes the first pitch of strike from Pastore. Good young hard thrower. The relief pitcher, he's got a super record for him. There's a fastball swung on and fouled back out of play. He has started one ball game. This is his 10th relief appearance. Worked 18 innings. There's one that hit him in the feet. Ontiveros is going to be awarded first base. Hit by a pitch. That's the tying run. With 1 out in the ninth. Hit him in the left leg. He's flexing it down there. Cookie Rojas at first base. They may have to take him out. They will. Ray Burris is going to run for Ontiveros. Sam Mejias, I'm sorry, he's going to run for him at first base. Don't think it caught him or to do any serious damage, but he's not particularly fast as a base runner anyway, and Mejias can fly. One of the reasons he's with the ball club, just for a spot like this. Now Jerry Martin, who has gone from 243 to 284 today. Swings and he misses, strike 1. He has 3 singles and a double, 2 runs batted in, 4 for 4 for Martin. Started the day at 243, right now batting 284. And hoping to tack on a few more points. Strike 1 count on him. Mejias being checked by Pastore. Now the right-hander delivers. Martin swings and he misses at a very high fastball. Faced a breaking pitch on the first one. Gary steps out, taking things over. He was really anxious. Martin now resetting himself in the batter's box. Still not quite in there. Now he sets, dumps the bat on the plate. Pastore ready into the stretch. 0-2 delivery on its way. Fastball, and he took it, and that's high. Ball 1, strike 2. Wasn't nearly as high as the one he just swung and missed at. With the wind blowing out at about 30 miles per hour, each team has one home run today. Mercer with a man on for the Cubs, Concepcion, but the base is empty for the Reds. The Reds lead by a run. The 1-2 pitch. There's a half swing, and he got enough of it to foul it back just on the first base side of the screen. 1-2. Cubs with 13 hits for the day, and the Reds with 9. Cubs have left 8 men on so far. And Mejias, the tying run on at first, with 1 out of the 9th. Young Frank Pastore. Waiting, now goes into the sign. Here's the kick, the pitch. Martin takes. Strike 3. He thought that was going to be in tight at the letters, and it broke and apparently caught the corner. There are 2 gone in the 9th inning. Last hope of the Cubs right now, Tim Blackwell. He's walked twice today and is 0 for 2. And unless we get a minor miracle, the Reds are going to take the first game of the 3-game series. Morgan, who's done just about everything today, has now taken to groundskeeping. Picked up a newspaper that floated out there, a piece of it, folded it up, flings it on the outfield grass. Now we're ready. And the pitch. Fastball, it's too high, ball 1.
I don't know how you look at this Pastore, but he's almost as quick as Bear. He can fire.
Yeah. There's 16 strikeouts in his first 18 innings this year coming into this action. There's a strike. Ball 1, strike 1. So now he has 17 as he caught Martin looking. They're very, very high on him. Since they moved him into relief, he's done a super job. Kicks, 1-1 pitch. Blackwell got a piece of it, fouled it, climbed back up on the screen. It's 1-2 on him. Every once in a while, you have little whirlpools of dust kicked up here by the wind that continues to blow. Temperature's been in the mid-80s today. Reds got a single run in the first, 1 in the second. They got 5 in the 3rd inning, or 4th inning, when that Cub defense faltered. Cubs came back with 3 in the bottom of the 3rd, and 3 more in the bottom of the 7th. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The ball game is over. Pastore blew him out. So the Reds win the opener. Final Cincy 8, the Cubs 7.
At Century 21, we're experienced. We're here to help. We know just what to do. At Century 21, we're professional. We're the neighborhood professionals for you. We've got the know-how in real estate to get the job done. We'll give you all we've got, 'cause you're number 1. At Century 21, we're professional. We're the neighborhood professionals for you.
May is open house month at Century 21, with over 500 homes open for viewing every May weekend. Call your neighborhood professionals for dates and times and go straight to the neighborhoods that interest you. Isn't that better than driving all over Chicagoland? Call your participating Century 21 office today and let our open houses save you time and gasoline.
At Century 21, we're professional. We're the neighborhood professionals for you.
Great America will make it a family celebration this weekend or any May weekend. There's sports fun, an acre of giggles for the kids, and now Pictorium, one of the world's largest motion picture experiences. Make it a celebration this weekend.
Great America.
Well, they won it. 8-7, the Cubs out-hit them 13-9, but the Cubs were guilty of a couple of costly errors. The Reds committed one, each team with 9 men left. Mike Lacoste runs his record to 3-0, and 2 of those wins against the Cubs. Kenny Holtzman, the loser, he's now 2-2, and a lengthy ball game, 3 hours and 11 minutes. Well, officially, Lou, Dave Concepcion's home run in the 6th inning proves to be the winning blow. There were a lot of little things that happened long before that were very decisive.
It was the 4th inning that really cost us the ball game. The 5-run inning of Cincinnati just put it just that much out of reach, and you know that they're going to score 1 or 2 more runs along the way, and that's what happened when Concepcion hit his home run. One of those things that very seldom happens this year with the Cubs. Their defense has been airtight. Just so happened in this inning we got 2 errors and gave the Reds 4 or 5 outs in that inning, maybe 6, and they took advantage of it.
If you're a little superstitious, in the notes today, they mentioned that Bill Buckner had not made an error in his last 31 games. That extends back to last season. Yep, he made one today. Well, tomorrow is going to be even up day for the Cubs, we hope. Our broadcast this afternoon has been brought to us by the G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, the makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country, and let me tell you, it'll taste good right now. True Value Hardware Stores, more than just a name, it's their way of doing business. True Value. General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices, and to borrow up to $10,000, call Friendly Bob Adams at Andover 32020. Your gallant men of Olds, come on in and test drive a new 79 Oldsmobile today. And the Association of Chicagoland McDonald Restaurants, hope you enjoyed the broadcast, if not the score. Nothing they can do about that. 8-7, the Reds are winner. I'll have the scoreboard and some highlights in a moment. Tomorrow, Mike Krukow, who's 1-1 for the year, is slated to be the Cubs starting pitcher, and against him, Paul Moscow, a young right-hander, who is 1-0 for the Reds. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau, thank you for being with us. Ed Archambault, our engineer, and Jack Minovich, our producer. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio, Chicago.
The Shutan Camera Company, since 1918, the odds-on favorite of the pros and amateurs, has often said, quote, if it's photographic, you can buy it for less at Shutan, unquote. They want to prove that right now by offering you the fabulous all-new Nikon EM, newest member of the Nikon system, for a special introductory low price of only $239.95. Never before a Nikon so automatic. The ultra-compact camera, a spectacular new concept in 35mm SLR photography. So totally automatic throughout, so perfectly coordinated, you'll enjoy the sheer pleasure of using it, plus the superb results. Here's a Shutan camera for only $239.95. Master charge and Visa cards welcome. At Shutan Camera, 15 photographic experts are ready and waiting to serve and help you. Shutan's low prices make every day a sale day, and their fine service is unsurpassed. That's Shutan Camera, Chicago's one great camera store since 1918. Downtown Chicago on Wanker Drive at LaSalle, where smart shoppers save. Everybody, Vince Lloyd back with you at Wrigley Field, and it's time for the scoreboard now, brought to us by Rusty Jones Rust Roofing, the one new car option that really appreciates in value. Well, the Reds had come into town, a hot ball club, just like the Cubs have been. The Cubs had won 5 out of their last 6 ball games, while the Reds had posted victories in 4 out of their last 5. And now it's 5 out of 6 for Cincinnati. They now are within 1 full game of the Houston Astros in their Western Division race. And Houston, of course, will be one of Major League ball clubs that'll be busy tonight. Matter of fact, Houston is back home, where their record, of course, is a very enviable one. They have Mr. Porsche threw a no-hitter in his first outing this year, 1 of 3 victories by the veteran right-hander. Porsche ready to go against another big right-hander, Mr. John Denny for the Cardinals. Denny is 2-2. So if Houston comes up with a victory, they'll move back to a game and a half in front. If not, it's going to be a very tight race in the Western Division. Only a half game will separate them. The San Francisco Giants struggling. They're 2 games under the 500 mark right now. Tonight, we'll be hosting the Montreal Expos. And Scott Sanderson from the Chicago area is scheduled to go for Montreal against Ed Halicki. Sanderson 1-2, and Halicki is 2-2. Montreal, a half game behind Philadelphia in the Eastern Division race. The Phillies will be at San Diego. They walloped them last night, 11-6. Mike Schmidt has been on a home run binge again. They have Randy Lurch scheduled to go against Randy Jones. Jones 4-2, and Lurch is 2-1. Pittsburgh will be at Atlanta. The Pirates were a winner there last night, 4-2, and the Braves now have lost 5 in a row. Roden scheduled to go for the Pirates. He used to be with the Dodgers against Eddie Solomon, who's 1-1 for Atlanta. That'll wrap up the action in the National League tonight. And I'll be back with some more, including some highlights of the Cubs-Cincinnati ball game in 1 minute.
Hello, Rusty Jones.
Hey, how are you?
Goodbye, Rusty Cars.
Hi, I'm Rusty Jones. What? Rusty Jones Rust Proofing. You know, I can save your car from rust. You can? Sure, because I'm more than just rust proofing. I'm the one option you can buy for your car that actually appreciates in value. How's that? I'll stick with your new car, protecting it from rust for as long as you own it. And everybody knows a rust-free car is worth more at trade-in time. You really stick with my car? Day and night, winter and summer. No vacation? Not even a coffee break. No gimmicks? Nope, I just want your car to stay rust-free, so you can say,
Hello, Rusty Jones. Goodbye, Rusty Cars. Hello, Rusty Jones. Goodbye, goodbye, Rusty Cars.
Over 1,600 dealers nationwide. Check the Yellow Pages for one near you. Well, let's see if the White Sox can get a lead and hold on to it tonight. They couldn't hold on to it last night for Steve Trout of Detroit. They jumped out in front 4-0 and wound up losing it 5-4. That's, by the way, is WGN Radio Chicago. Vince Lloyd talking to you here at Wrigley Field. Did I tell you how much of a crowd we had today? What do you mean you're not interested? At 12,254. Take that. So the White Sox, 2 games under the 500 mark in the Western Division, which is still headed up, surprisingly enough, by the Minnesota Twins. All they have done is win 19 and lose only 8. That still isn't quite as good a record as Philadelphia in the Cubs Eastern Division, but it's not too bad. Wouldn't mind saying that that's what the Cubs had, 19 and 8, huh? They're followed by California, which is 3.5. White Sox, by the way, will have Ross Baumgarten, 2-0, going at Detroit tonight against Young. Milwaukee will be at home against Haas, and those Brewers, 17 and 11. Boy, what a tight race in that American League Eastern Division. They are a game behind Boston and Baltimore. One of the oddities about Baltimore, they've won 15 out of their last 17 ball games. You know who they have lost those 2 games to out of those 17? The Oakland A's of Jim Marshall. How do you account for that, huh? And tonight, Milwaukee. We hope they'll have a good crowd. We'll have Haas going against Garland for the Cleveland Indians. Garland, the millionaire who was hurt, of course, trying to come back. He is now 0-3. Haas is 1-1. Baltimore against Oakland tonight has Flanagan 4-2 against Keogh, who is 0-4. The Yankees host Seattle. They have Beatty against Bannister. California at Boston. Tonight, Knapp against Rainey. Toronto will be at Minnesota. And Kansas City playing at Texas. The Dodgers, by the way, ended a string of 24 consecutive scoreless innings last night. Not only did they do that, but they went out and won a ball game. They beat the New York Mets by a score of 5-2. And if you look closely enough, you'll see that way down next to the bottom in the Western Division of the National League are the defending National League champion Los Angeles Dodgers. They are 6 games below the 500 mark. Would you believe that? After 30 games, they are 12-18, the Dodgers. The Cubs, with this loss today, remain 1 game over the 500 mark. And here at home now, they're 9-5 for the season. One thing about the Cincinnati ball club this year, they have been tough on the road. They now have won 16 games this year, lost 12, and they have won 7 of those while they are away from Cincinnati, and they've lost only 4. And that's the mark of a good ball club. I'll be back with some more on our scoreboard, including a couple of the highlights of this action out at Wrigley Field today, right after this message.
And now for a late word on the United strike. Continental Airlines has come to the aid of thousands of stranded passengers. We've added new flights to our